Hello everybody and welcome to the final round of the OGRL Coffee Cup here from the Nurburgring. It is going to be a 90-minute finale here at this great circuit, and the championship in the pro standings is still on the line. It's myself, Ewan, and James Parfitt alongside me for the final round of this series. And the checker flag is just waving in qualifying at the moment, where Alfie Nichols has set a 8-minute 12.4 to take the fastest lap time and indeed the pole position for this race. It was a very long qualifying session, by the way. And after all those minutes, it looks like Alfie Nichols has taken the pole position. In the Pro Championship, we've still got standings to look at, although Pro-Am and Am seem to be all but settled here. James, it's a good way to end our season, though, here on the North Cypher for a 90-minute race.
Yeah, 90 minutes, championship decider on the cards. Who's going to get what? Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. I think this could be an exciting one. It's Nords. And as we know, between me and you, Mr. O'Leary, that we watch every single week, anything can happen. Crashes at Tiergarten on the last lap and the last corner. Who knows?
I find it difficult to see that is going to happen here today, but it could do, as we've seen plenty of times in the past.
You're being very brave putting your neck on the line like that, because I've seen Tiergarten crashes on the last lap and drivers losing the lead.
But they're not 90-minute races, that's for sure. They're about half that. So
what happens?
I'm not sure. We'll see. Of course, this being a little bit of a longer race does mean that there's going to be lots of pit stop action here today. Lots of refueling over the course of the day as well, but not very many difference in terms of laps, I wouldn't have said, in terms of when people will be coming in. Let's talk about the Pro Championship first of all, because in the standings, Joshua Herring is leading by 3 points over Bradley Lovings, with Brian Merriam in third. Jeremy Cheney's going to be trying to hang on from the likes of Cole Modric and David Van Roy today. Alan Purser should finish 7th this season, with Alfie Nichols all on his own in 8th place. Not too much up or down for him, I wouldn't have thought, in the latter part of this season. Hayden Young and Michael Dion round out the top 10, but up towards the top is where we're really going to be looking. Joshua Herring versus Bradley Lovings. We're hearing that Herring isn't going to be here today, so he effectively is going to score 54 points, or at least keep that same score. Lovings needs to take 33 away from his to work out what his total is going to be. That means he's 36 behind Herring. Needs to score 37 points here today. A top 25 should do that, and there aren't actually much more than 25 people in this race. So Lovings knows exactly where he needs to finish. He doesn't need to worry about where Herring's going to be. He just knows exactly where he needs to finish, and surely that is going to be the title for him. Although it is possible for him to lose it. His worst score is a 33-point score so far. So if he does that again or lower, then he will not win the title.
Well, poor Mr. Lovins, who I'm pretty sure will know what he's got to do. I'm hoping he'll be a bit more sensible. I really do. I think he will win it here, but he's just got to make sure he can get it through cleanly. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is making sure that he can get through this cleanly. Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem on the North Side, to be honest. It's such a difficult circuit that we're probably going to see a really interesting race as far as just staying on the road goes. 90 minutes as well. I mean, just surviving is going to be quite a lot of the challenge, and actually quite difficult today, I would imagine.
Yep. Do you know what? I would sit here and say Lovins has got this, right? Just as much as I would sit here and say Tidwell's going to have it, or in the AMs, Joey Means is going to have it. But it's Nords. It just, with the calculations of drop weeks and everything kicking in, this could be some people's worst week ever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think because there are so few in the session, actually, compared to some of the other rounds, that actually they might be all right as far as worst result of the season goes. But we'll see. This is a bit of a traffic jam here.
They're having a picture. They're having a picture, I think.
Yep, they're having a bit of a picture, so that's why it's so busy in the warm-up. There you go. Oh, it's a bit disorderly in the background. People trying to get lined up. This could take a while. This is why we've got 10 minutes, I suppose.
It should be really straightforward, shouldn't it? 4 lines, get in line. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. Pick one.
Well, the problem is when too many pick one of them, and then you've slightly got too many in one. What's really going to annoy me is that we've not got a multiple of 4 in the session, I don't think.
What's really going to annoy me is if that purple car don't get in behind that red one at the back on the right-hand side. You're going to really stress me out. Come on. It shouldn't really be that hard.
Oh, nearly hit each other there. Yeah.
There you go.
Two at the back.
Oh, there's a blinker. No, we
That's not
haven't.
going to help.
No, we're too
No, he's
short.
not in line.
26 drivers. Oh, no. We can get one more. There's a few still in the pits, though. Hayden Young.
Porsche needs to get in line properly.
Is he going to stress you out now, the fact that he's not in line properly?
It is quite. It's quite stressful. Yeah, there's 4 drivers currently on pit lane, but there's not an even number. There's not a multiple of 4 amount of. Oh, maybe there is actually. Yeah, I think there is actually. So maybe we are going to get 4 equal rows. Although that Porsche blinking is going to be a bit of a problem, and he's not in line. They're not quick. They're not lined up very well, I've got to say. And now they're off. Oh dear! Not all of them at the same speed as all the others. And they go 4 wide in towards turn 1. It's going to be quite an exciting battle in warm-up. They'll do a battle. Oh dear, well, maybe not. It's all ended in a bit of a crash down at the first chicane.
Yeah, it didn't go well, did it? They tried, and it all just went wrong. So there we go. Fair play to them. It is the last race of the season. And to be fair, it's been a long season. You know what I mean? And it has really been a long season. We've been going since, oh blimey, when was it? September, October? No,
July.
Oh, it was ages ago, wasn't it? And so just for them to have a final blowout, that's good. I love Sparky YouTube chat. Good morning, good afternoon. Come on, let's get in line. Let's not stress out JP before we get started. Hey, I'd like to point out Ewan's OCD is worse than mine. All right.
What evidence have you got for that?
Just then, that Porsche's not in line. Is really winding me up. It's like your OCD is horrendous compared to mine. We look at things and we want it uniform. We want it straight. We want everybody parking in the right line. Make it even, not all over the place. So, to be fair, I think we're probably, let's admit it, we're both as bad as each other when it comes to things like that.
I don't see how anyone can see that and think that's not annoying.
I know.
To be honest,
I agree.
But there you go. They've had their pictures, and now they're off onto the north side. Big dive down the inside for one of the Mustangs, and that was nearly going to be a crash actually through there. It is going to be quite a switch of mentality for everybody though, because everyone's having a bit of fun right now, but I mean, this warm-up session is going to come to a close in 6 minutes' time, and quite soon after that, they're going to be going in for quite a serious 90-minute race, and so turning that off and on again is sort of that mentality off and on again. It's going to be very interesting today, and pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, but they've just got to remember it's 90 minutes, haven't they? That's the thing. Remember it's 90 minutes. Oh, dearie me. Here we go again. Oh, bye-bye, Porsche. That's no surprise that Porsche is spun, is it? Let's be real about it. That was Hayden Young going off. But, they've got 90 minutes. Let's see how they get on. They should all nicely chill out and relax, and we should be good to go, I'm sure. I think.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Here for this one. Hayden Young's going to have a bit of time on his own here onto the north side. Lots of drivers have just returned back to pit lane again. In fact, nearly half of them have returned straight back to pit lane instead of going out onto the north side for again. From what I saw in qualifying, by the way, not many people have done very many laps, so I have a feeling that they're going to want to do some here this time round. I can't imagine your incident screen, by the way, watching all this.
Oh, my incident screen is kicking off all over the place at the moment. There's lots of gone on for everything. So, yeah, look, there you go. That's all the drama that kicked off at the beginning.
I'm not sure how it started, to be honest, but we're never going to find out.
No, there's just too much to decipher. I've got everybody off track at one point or another, so we'll forgive them for that. But Porsche spinning.
They've put Adna Porsche there. They've all gone for a bit of a crash up there.
Can we talk about the pro AM standings and the AMs? We haven't covered them.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'd forgot I hadn't done those actually. We'd already been talking about the pros, but yeah, let's do those before we end the warm-up session. Bradley Tidwell is in the prime position to take this championship, and indeed he can't lose it now. In Pro-Am with Richard Modric in second, he can't lose that place either. Quentin Price is in third place, with Barry Acker not that far behind. That could be a change there. Brian Dukowski rounds out the top 5. He will be staying there. Prano Haddo is only 4 points ahead of Jonathan Williams. That's going to be one to watch today. Michael Champlin only 7 ahead of Adam Hansen, and Dan Dvorak is going to be finishing in 10th place in the championship in the Prams here at the end of today as well. Oh dear, that's a crash. In the AM standings, Joey Mains is going to win the title here at 49 points. Is currently his margin over Heath Ollinger, who is not going to take the title from here. JT Sawyer is too far behind as well, although he might be able to catch up Ollinger if he has a really good day. Jeff Sebelveda just 5 points in front of Cody Bont. That's going to be one to watch today. Brett Basil's 6th place ahead of Mike Elliott. Should be secure from Curtis Matthews, but maybe not. James Hillerick and Nicholas Marshall round out the top 10. It is all quite close, actually, towards the back end of that top 10 in the AM standings. But for Pro-Am and AM, not many of those top positions are really being fought over anymore. It's been a long season, and the battles have very much sorted themselves out now, really.
Yeah, they have, and it's all still done technically for the Pro-Ams on that one. Tell you what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into 90 minutes, I'm just going to have a quick minute, and then we will be right back very, very shortly.
Well, welcome back to the Nurburgring, where we are ready to go. Just under a minute left in warm-up at the moment. Not too many drivers are out there on the circuit, I've got to say. A few have just started lap times and whatever by taking the short run through the Grand Prix circuit, but I don't think they're going to be allowed to finish them. I think this warm-up session is going to be moved on straight after the time elapse. Scott Carlson asking, and you can put in your thoughts, what's the over and under on meatballs for lap 1 here for this round? What do you think?
5.
5? I'm going to go with less.
No, I reckon out of everybody that's on the grid, only we're going to lose 25% of them.
By the end or by lap 1?
By the end.
Okay. Well, he's asking lap 1, to be fair. But yeah,
by the end of lap 1,
maybe by the end.
I reckon 5 in the pits by the end of lap 1.
Okay. Let's get your over and under. Type in over and under if you think that's going to be over 5. Then obviously type over. And under 5, Under. I'm going for under. So let us know in the YouTube chat whether it's going to be over or under 5 pit stops at the end of lap 1. Let's have a look at the starting grid then for the final round of the OGRL Coffee Cup here this season, with Alfie Nichols on the pole ahead of Ryan Merriam. It's Hayden Young and Sean Riley on row 2, with Damien Huffington and Bradley Loving sharing row 3. David Van Roy is next ahead of Jeremy Cheney, with Jonathan Williams on the pole in the Pro-Ams. Alan Herser is next, running up top 10, with the Pro-Am champion Brad Tidwell next. Mark Long is alongside him in 12th. William Bailey and Colin Roderick are on row 7, ahead of Mark Ostier and Jeff Sepulveda, who are on the front row in the AMS. Brian Dudkowski is next, ahead of Tyson Pankow, with Heath Oranger and Leonardo Ziflo rounding out the top 20. Jim Sawyer and Quentin Price are next. He's the first of those who didn't set a time. Neither did Carl Surratt, 24th, or Simon Belts, Perno Hanno, Joey Maines, Cody Bonk, Curtis Matthews, Jim Cunningham, or Chris Slane, who round out the 31 drivers in the field. Pretty difficult to get a lap in from us throughout the qualifying session, as the drivers are just gridding up now. They've got another minute or so before they make their way down to the end of the lap. One thing immediately notable here, it is pretty cold on the track temperature, and it's very foggy out there on the circuit as well.
It is. It is currently track temperature is about 18 degrees. It's dry, so that's fine. Lots of talk going on in YouTube chat. We've got 25% is a fair guesstimate. I agree. You know what I mean? Scott Carson's taken the over 5 for first people in lap 1 in the pits. And Sparky, take the under, banking on patience for lap 1. Sparky, I think you're a little bit more enthusiastic. Stacey Merriam, good morning. I'll take the over as well. So lots of people going the over 5s, including myself.
You're all mad.
I bet you watch this. Mark Ossier is that scared he's even going to start it from pit lane. Mark Long's not making it, and Ziflo's not making it either, apparently. So we've already lost 3.
No. That does not count.
Hey,
that does not count. 3. Unless they get back on the circuit and Mark Ossier comes back in pit lane after his pit lane start, then you can have it. But you can't just take it immediately off the bat there for those guys, because they have just decided immediately to start from the pit lane, or indeed not at all. So they are not to be counted in our little over and under we've got going on. Whether there's going to be 5 people coming into the pit lane on lap 1, over or under, we'll wait and see. Alfie Nichols now in the pole position again, making his way towards the back end of the lap, and what a season he has been having. Worst result, 2nd place for Alfie Nichols. That was the opening round of this section. He's now won 4 in a row, including Fruxton last week. It is time for the championship finale. Can he make it 5 in a row? And surely one of the most fantastic ends to the season that we've seen here all throughout. Into the final few corners they now come, and Alfie Nichols is going to be in control of the field here for the final 90 minutes of the OGRL Coffee Cup here this season. At the end of this, we'll have had 26 hours of racing across since July. It's been fantastic to watch all throughout. Let's see how we get on here in this final round, as Nichols waits quite a long time here on the front straight. There's going to be a big concertina in the mid-pack as they all figure out that this is not going green quite as quickly as they maybe thought. Long way down the front straight, and now the green flag finally does wave, and they're all going to go out all at once there, fanning out 3 wide immediately, moving down the inside, 4 wide perhaps, into the first corner here for 2nd place. Are they all going to get through here cleanly for the final time this season? It looks like it at the front of the field. It's going to have to be mid-pack action if it goes wrong at all. Everybody through this awkward first chicane, getting it through nicely. That was very well done by everybody.
Yeah, big check-up. So there was lots of check-ups. Horvaten!
Horvaten!
Where's he going? No. Wherever he's going, the Porsche did whatever the Porsche wants to do and has dropped Horvaten all the way down the order into 23rd at the moment. But currently, we're still not in Nords yet, so I don't think anybody's going to be out on the track section. I reckon as soon as they go Nords. All I'm thinking about is when they go into Nords, mate, is having a big old Watkins Glen moment. And that is it. I could just see it all going wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, maybe. You're hoping so, because you've gone for over 5 meatballs. So there you go. Through the fast Schumacher S they go for the first time, and it's Alfie Nichols who's at the front of this field by some way, ahead of Ryan Merriam, who is in 2nd place, then Hayden Young in 3rd, Sean Riley 4th. Where's Bradley Lovings? Has he got off to a clean start? He certainly has, because he's right there in your picture in 6th position. He's actually right on the back here of the Mustang of David Van Roy at the moment. So he's had a good start. As I mentioned, just needs to finish inside the top 25 to be absolutely sure. And he's currently running in 6th place pretty nicely.
Yeah, he's informed me it's 27th to tie, 26th to win. So inside there as well. We don't speak of the Watkins Glen incident to Sparky after what we saw there. Oh, dearie me. You ain't
Only
done yet.
left to go of the season, not mistaken.
Yep. Well, we're in it. Let's go.
It stays that way.
We're
Yeah,
indoors.
hopefully it stays that way as well. Sean Riley under pressure. Lots of pressure here from David Van Roy as they go onto the north side for the first time into the Hatzenbach. Bit of a slide from Van Roy. He holds on pretty nicely though, ahead of Lovings, who will be glad about that because he would have gone careering straight into the back of him as well as they go through the Hatzenbach now for the first time. Now Hohenheisen, and now the fast high-speed run through Flugplatz and then towards Schwedenkreuz and Arenberg as well. This is perhaps going to be Loving's first chance of the afternoon if he wants to take it. Yeah,
if he can get it through, he's got to make the move of the opportunity, but I don't think he's going to really want to. He doesn't have to. We should effectively see a very, very cautious Lovings coming through this whole race. I think this is the thing for him. We should effectively see that. They're side by side in the back. Oh, Jeremy Cheney there was side by side with Jonathan Williams. They were going side by side down into Arenberg. Gonna make it. Everybody's gonna make it through on that one. Kyle Sirrett. Is he gonna dive up the inside? He is. Is he gonna get it stopped? Yes, somebody didn't get it stopped. Ooh, I thought Tyson Panko didn't there either, but Simon Belts. Do you know, this is where I expected most of the drama, and at the moment I'm a little bit disappointed.
Or impressed. It's been a good clean start to the race. It's only because you've got so many crashes. Nobody back to pit lane just yet, by the way. We have got Barcossier and Ziflo back into the race, so they both decided to start from pit lane. We have got 30 starters for this one. Mark Long, unfortunately, has not decided to take to the start, as Jim Sawyer is on the defensive here from Belts. Sawyer currently in 19th place, looking to finish the season in 3rd. He's 22 points behind Yves Hollinger going into the day. Hollinger at the moment is 2 positions ahead of him, so that's not going to change. We'll go through some of the championship changes that could happen a little bit later on, but Jonathan Williams at the moment is leading in the prams and doing it rather nicely. Cal Sirrett, meanwhile, just in the background here, gets past Brian Dunkowski. He's on the move here. Sirrett already up 10 in this race.
Yeah, Sirrett's done this before though, hasn't he? Where was we? Oh my God,
Barcelona, I think.
Barcelona, yeah, he's already done, and I think he moved through the order fairly well, so great little battles from him. Simon Belts is still in behind JT here, with Quentin Price in the mix. Never managed him to make it through at the... Oh! Lambo hit a wall.
Well, it was close. He didn't quite hit the wall, Quentin Price, but he looked like he was going to go into the wall at one stage. Or maybe hit the curb and spin to the other side of the circuit down at Versailles there, but he avoids it here, Quentin Price. We need to end off the season on a high after a pretty miserable mid-part and towards the end as well, after a good start to the season. Sawyer's under a lot of pressure here from Simon Belts and indeed everybody else as well, and now they're going to be side by side, just in behind Hillerich, and Hanout goes side by side as well in the 22nd position, so that's all going to continue going on, but Simon Belts does move through up into 19th for him. Meanwhile, oh dear, Cody Bont is dropping down the field, and now he drops to pit lane. There's your first one.
Yeah, pit lane, first one gone, Cody Bont, but these guys are still in this mix. They're all very, very close together at the same time as Alan Purser, Tidwell, Bailey, Modric here. We'll have a look back and see what happened to Cody Bont. I just want to let this play out, see if they can all get it stopped going in. Oh, Quentin Price.
Whoa, side by side with one of the Acuras here. Oh, contact and huge hit on the wall for Quentin Price. It was, but he's going to get hit here, surely. He did by one of the McLarens. One of the McLarens hit him there as he was trying to go through. I think that was Hanout maybe. Quentin Price returns to pit lane as well. There's your first one, and that's big damage as he made the contact. It was, it's always going to get narrow there through Kesselson, but that's one of the bigger crashes we've seen so far today. This is Brian Dunkowski, meanwhile, in the carousel, where I'd imagine there's going to be some incidents today.
Yeah, oh, missed it completely. Didn't even make the inside of it. Curtis Matthews is another one that's had an incident at the same time.
Oh, Nichols! Wow, Alfie Nichols has lost the lead here. A big moment for the lead of this race. He's won 4 in a row, going for 5. And Alfie Nichols has gone for a mistake here. Sean Riley will get past him as well. Ryan Merriam passes him. After all this, it's just a spin just before Brunson. Does he hit anything? Oh, he just grazes the wall, but he'll be okay. Alfie Nichols in big trouble here for his quest for 5 in a row.
Yeah, and it loses a place to Riley at the same time. Pancal's in pit lane. So that's 3 we've had back already. Cody Bont, Quentin Price and Tyson Pancal all in pit lane at this moment in time. So poor old Tyson, it looks like he's been off with James Hillerick, but I do wonder if they were separate incidents. And Tyson here, oh dude, you way too fast. You are not even going to stop that.
Too fast for the first bit.
Yeah.
He's going to smack the wall. It's at the end of this circuit then where people have started to have the problems, and Pancal does go back to pit lane. Unfortunately, Quentin Price has retired from the race, and that is that for him. Cody Bont also is out. Did we see what happened to him already, or am I misremembering? Meanwhile, oh, Alfie Nichols round the outside at Calvin Cock. That is unbelievable. Into 3rd place. You don't often see passes through there, and he might be about to find out why, because he could get drafted back past again immediately, but that was a very impressive overtake. Let's see if it sticks here as these 4 make their way down the dotting hill for the first time. Ben Roy's pulling out the way here. Lovings is going to get a free place inside the top 5.
Yeah, I wonder if Van Roy's got any... I don't know why he would do that. He might have been better off staying in the draft, to be blatantly honest, to this one. But now this is where Sean Riley in that BMW, what's he going to do with Alfie? Is he going to push him along? Or is he going to make the move down into Tiergarten? Doesn't look like he's making the move. I'm surprised Van Roy did that, considering the lack of pace the Porsche's actually got on the straight. I am surprised that Mustang actually allowed him to take that away.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Lovings gets a very good run out of the final corner here as they make their way over the line. We've also got Curtis Matthews down on pit lane at the end of lap 1 as well, so that's 4. Getting quite close here. In towards turn number 1 we go. Lovings close again. Meanwhile, this is for 18th place. Hanout right in behind, or just ahead I should say, of Sawyer. And just in behind them is the McLaren of Marc Ossier, who's not being shown on our timing screen for the moment, but he is actually involved in this because he started from pit lane. He now moves up to 19th place past JT Sawyer. Yeah,
it looks like we're going to have 4. So we were all really, really close, but 4 in pit lane by the end of lap 1. So we were close.
I'll take the victory. Thank you very much. Round of applause, please. Joking.
There you go.
I'm quite impressed with myself, though. I've got to be honest.
You were close, mate. You were lucky.
Lucky?
Yeah, you were lucky. I still reckon we're going to lose another few drivers before the end of the race. I reckon if we end up with 26 finish, I'll be well impressed.
All right. Chris Slane has gone into pit lane at the end of lap 1, and so has Damien Horberton as well, but it's not a tow back to pit lane, so I'm not counting that. Into the faster pair land they will go, I suppose. You said 25% of the field is going to be lost here today. That's going to be quite hard to do from a 30-car grid, because 25% would mean 22 and a half people survive, which is
that's fine.
Not possible. So I'll give you it. If 22 or 23 get over the line, I'll give you a double chance. 22 or 23, I know, I'll give you the 25%. But looking at already 2 out with Cody Bont and Quentin Price, I think the rate of attrition is going to have to slow down, put it that way.
Well, Jim Cunningham's also made his own little dramas. He's just been slow. Is it just picking up that he's just been rather slow, or did he actually? No. Oh, yes, kind of both. So there we go. Technically, you should give me Chris Slane because he went in pit lane as well. That would make the 5. You did say people who went in pit lane. We don't know that Chris Slane didn't enter the pit lane damaged at the end of lap 1, which he has.
No.
He is, because he's got no front end. So technically,
he is quite a bit damaged there.
So technically, I
Damien Horberton as well. I'm not counting it because he didn't tow back to pit lane.
Well, now you're just being pedantic, aren't you? It's all about you.
No, I'm being correct. Anyway, meanwhile, the battle for the lead's on here. Hayden Young is really close to Ryan Merriam, actually. And with Nichols' spin, this race all of a sudden has got some real life into it for the race lead here. Hayden Young in the slipstream of that Audi. It's going to be quite hard in the Porsche to manage this so early on in the race with still an hour and 19 to go. They're going to fight for this pretty hard into Sven Kreutz and then Arenberg. Merriam's gone pretty fast there into the first part, but he's going to stamp on the brakes immediately and he's going to hang on to the lead. Young can't quite get through for the moment. This could be a real battle, though, between these two for the lead.
Yeah, you were close, mate. You were lucky. I still reckon we're going to lose another few drivers before the end of the race. I reckon if we end up with 26 finish, I'll be well impressed.
Mm. 26
I mean, the weirdest thing is we're only on lap 2, and we've still got an hour and 18 minutes to go. With about an 8-minute lap here, we're probably not going to get many more in, to be honest. Probably maybe 9, 10 laps at the most, I think. So there you go. It only counts if they had a meatball, not just to the pits, right? Oh, Scott, stop it. Sticking up for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. I'd like to point out that
By the
this
way,
is the man that hasn't watched Ghostbusters. Good saying.
That's got nothing to do
I
with
know, but I've got to turn it on you somehow, 'cause
meanwhile-
otherwise I'm going to suffer for 90 minutes, and I.
Curtis Matthews is just making his way back out of the circuit, actually. I was just going to say he's still in pit lane repairing damage, as is Tyson Pankow. So unfortunately for them, they have had some pretty long repairs early on here. But hopefully this race can start to settle in now, really. That we can start to settle in maybe to a bit of a leading battle. But hopefully everybody else can settle in, because it is going to be a long race. Hour and a half round here is going to feel like a very long time indeed. With just over 8-minute lap times, we're going to get maybe only 11 laps in this race. So it's a pretty short one, all in all.
Yeah. It's really weird, because in theory, in an hour and a half, they should do quite a lot. But this is Nords. It's like, one lap takes, 8 times longer than one lap at, I don't know, Barcelona, or a lot longer than Bruxton did last week. I still think that was
We got
a
over
great
50,
race.
I think, last week, didn't we?
Yeah, it was still a great race. Loved it. I did.
And the week before, to fair, Okayama was quite a lot of laps. So, yeah, it's a bit of a change of pace. Especially compared to this season, actually. We've not had very many long circuits this season. In the past, in this series, we have had circuits like Bathurst and Le Mans, which have really been long ones, but they both took place in September. It was a very long time ago. By the way, we started this season, but I remember doing it with you at Belle Isle, 14th of July we started this season. That is about 8 months ago now. It's been a very long season, but a great season as well, and I'm sure we'll have some time to reflect on it a little bit later on as Carl Sirrett gets up close now with Alan Purser through Castleton. This is where Quentin Price made a bit of contact earlier on and got into the wall pretty hard. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But Carl Sirrett is going to be closing in on Purser up towards the fast left-hander. He is not close enough for a move.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Let's see. He's got a right-hander coming up as well. It's got to be a fast right. Is he going to make the move coming into the right-hander before the carousel? No, he's not this time. He's looking quick, Carl Sirrett. He is looking quick. So this could be an interesting one. With Tidwell and Williams in front of them, and then further up the field we've got Nichols, who's still got Riley in and around him, and Young with Merriam. Lacey's in there, happy as Lowry. Go Bud, she says. So she's got Ryan up the front now.
It's doing well for the moment as these guys continue to fight for this 10th place. Brad Tidwell is being caught just a little bit for the moment. So they go through the highest point on this circuit and then the plunge back down the other side again now. So Ryan Merriam leads from Hayden Young. They qualified second and third, but they're ahead of Alfie Nichols after his spin on the opening lap of the race. And it was through this very corner, actually, that David Van Roy and Jeremy Janey are just going through right now. So he's survived it this time round, Nichols, and now he will try and push on, and we'll see what the lap times are at the end of this, at the end of the first flying lap of this race. But Jeremy Cheney is putting the pressure on here, currently running in 4th place in the championship, trying to stay ahead of Carl Modric, which looks like he'll manage that pretty easily, with Modric absent here for the final round.
Lovins just ran wide. I'm not ignoring what you've just said. Lovins has just ran wide. That's why Van Roy is there within touching distance of him. Say to the left-hand side, his shortest bump. Why does Lovin take such a wide one there? Because it gets worse as it goes out. But I think Van Roy may get Lovins here, because that gruff of that Mustang should allow him to go far past of the Porsche on the dotting a hoe.
Meanwhile, Alan Purse has been overtaken by Sirrett, and Lovings is off through the gravel. Goodness me. Van Roy and Cheney go through, and Bradley Lovings back to 7th place again. So the pressure just getting to him a little bit there through Sharpen Schwartz as he ran slightly wide. Now through Calvin Kopp, he's going to have to regain some of that time and try and come back through again. He's at least going to hang on to the slipstream, which will save him there.
Yeah, he's got to lose 20 places from here to tie. 20 places puts him down at 27th. That would mean he'd probably join the list of Pankow, Price and Bond. I'm going to put Pankow out because he's been in the pits for about nearly 10 minutes. And that's probably him just towing back to pit lane without any repairs or anything he's done at the moment. But we'll find out what's going to happen there with him. Young and Merriam are not far apart. Cheney and Van Roy, well, as you can see on the screen, are that close. No. Oh, I thought he was going to say yes then.
Looked from the outside, but couldn't quite get through and didn't quite get the space there off of Van Roy. Young was very close in towards Tiergarten, but he didn't decide to go for it. He instead takes the fastest lap of the race, 8:14.9. It's a couple of seconds slower, but Nichols does go a bit quicker. Only half a second. If that rate of closing continues, it's going to take 6 laps, which is, by the way, going to take about 50 minutes in this race. So he's surely going to hope for a bit of a quicker rate of closing than that, with still 3 seconds between them.
Yeah, he's got to go forward, hasn't he? Really quickly. He knows we know he's got the pace, but he's got to now maximise it. And he only pulled out half a second. So, yeah, he's going to be close near the end, but he's got to go quicker.
Yeah, certainly. So they now make their way down into the bottom end of the Grand Prix circuit. This is the Dunlop hairpin. You can see the margin, by the way. Hayden Young gaining a lot of time with that spin for Alfie Nichols on the opening lap. It's very rare we see a spin from Nichols, to be honest. He's had a brilliant season so far. We all know that, but he's had a spin early on here, which is extremely surprising for him, really. But still, it's a good job he did it on the first lap. He's got another 10, maybe 11 laps to recover from it, rather than doing it at the very end of the race where he's got no time left at all. He's just going to try and slowly bring this margin back again as we go back in the pack. This is Joey Mines, Demian Huffington, Jim Cunningham. Huffington looking to come back through the field again after stopping and taking that faster pair on the opening lap.
Yeah, they were very, very close. Heath Hollinger has been very, very close to the point. I think this could be just him being slow, to be blatantly honest. I think there's a couple of others that are going to be doing the same thing coming through here. JT has also registered that he's had a crash, but I've got a funny feeling that could be in the same. Yeah, I think it's counting the fact that they're slow around the right-hander. Or, actually, JT, you look way too quick. Slow in through that one, but yeah, going to be getting a little bit more spread out across the racetrack at the moment. You see the gaps disappearing on the left-hand side to White, which means they're over a second back. Lovin slowly trying to hang on to Cheney. Van Roy's kind of escaped down the road. Alfie Nichols' gap at the moment, 3.2. 3.7 actually to Ryan Merriam.
Well, to the lead, yeah. So I think that gap is going to come down a lot quicker once he starts getting the slipstream down some of these faster sections like here. Once he's within a second, the gap's going to snowball and get closer quite a lot more quickly because of the slipstream. So we'll see where Nichols can get to in this race. It's going to be a real chase on from here on in. Lap 3 currently in this race. It is a 90-minute race. It's going to be a different race in terms of fuel. The fuel capacity is just 60%. And so that means that we're going to see 2 stops here today. But how many laps can they do? On 100% fuel, these cars can do 8 laps around the North side, but 60% of 8 laps is just less than 5. So I'm not sure they're going to be able to get a 5th lap in. At the end of the next lap, they might have to come in for their first stops already.
Mm-hmm. And they want to time that right as well. Because although they might see 1.1 or whatever, and they're going to sit there and go, oh, I've got 1.1 of fuel left. It will chug out with about half a litre, if not less than that to go. So you've got to be a little bit more careful on that one. Thomas Guy, YouTube channel, let's go Aeronaut. There we go. It's Jeremy Chain.
Absolutely. Okay. Meanwhile, this is the battle for 8th place. Jonathan Williams holding on here from Carl Sirrett, but Sirrett has been marching through the field and he looks like he's on his way up into 8th place right now. That would be 15 gained, by the way, if he could manage that. Jonathan Williams is trying to take Pernod Hanault's position in the championship. That's 6th place in the Pro-Am standings. At the moment, he's 4 points behind. If he stays like this, he will be 5 points ahead. So Jonathan Williams not only looking for a Pro-Am win here today, but also a championship position as well. But with the Sirrett right behind him, this could get difficult with Bradley Tidwell so close behind. Can he maybe take advantage of this pass?
Yeah, I think Oh, he's made a mistake. Double the grass. Sirot's going to go through. Lovins has been off the race circuit again. He needs to be very, very careful.
He does, especially up here. Oh, that's a big moment.
Oh,
Slide.
Dude, where are you
Oh,
going?
Oh, he's gathered it as well. That's a huge moment. Goodness me. That is a huge, huge moment there.
If he loses this because of his own skill issue, he's never going to hear the end of it.
No. Tyson Panko, by the way, is still on pit lane after 15 minutes, so he might be all right anyway in terms of losing the championship, but he won't want to finish 27th in it to become a tie. I think with the amount of drivers in this race and how far ahead he is of them already, I think he's looking very secure, but he cannot afford to have a big crash yet.
No, he can't, and that's the thing. He needs to make sure that he can get to where he needs to be, although he's sitting back going, yeah, I've got right away down to 27th. At the moment, he's under pressure from Carl Sirott. Sirot's just gone up the inside of Lovins, and now Lovins is going to be under the cosh from Jonathan Williams.
Sirott is absolutely flying at the moment. 7th place, he's just missed the carousel though. Oh, he's trying to get back in again. He's not quite going to do it. He's just got one side of his car in, and that means that Lovins is sort of alongside, sort of not. Then Lovins got hit by Williams, who's now got Tidwell right in behind him. That is what you cannot afford to do when you've got drivers right behind you. You cannot afford to miss the carousel like that.
No, and then try and put yourself back in it again and cause a stack up of everybody behind you. It was a little bit of a dramatic moment. They need to keep it clear. This man in that Porsche, he needs to calm. Like, he may sit back and think, oh, I've got 20 places to go, but one mistake and it's not very hard to find yourself stuck behind that 20 places. So, yeah, for Lovins, he's either got to get on it and be on it, or just kind of relax and drive the race circuit. But at the moment, not having a good opening 3 laps, to be honest.
No. It's not maybe the start to this race he was hoping for. However, he is still in championship winning position. He would win it by just less than 20 points. But what a great battle it has been between the two of them throughout the season. Hayden Young, meanwhile, has lost a lot of time on this lap. He's now 1.4 seconds behind Ryan Merriam, who's leading this race. I believe, by the way, from memory, Merriam won the first round of the season, didn't he, back in July? I thought he won it at Belle Isle, ahead of David Ben Roy. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but be a great end to the season for him if he could manage that. We'll see what the lap times are at the end of this one, though, between those front three, as Alfie Nichols continues to just close slowly.
Yeah, he is edging closer and closer with Nichols at the moment. The gap up front, 2.7 away from the lead. Lovins into the Kleins, gets the job done there. Merriam still out in front, extended it by about 8 tenths. He's slowly breaking away. Tidwell and Williams, these little pro-ams, are going to be going at it down the dot in the hoe here.
Is Tidwell going to give this a go this time round as the drivers in front just weave around a little bit to battle for slipstream? That's Carl Sirott trying to break it to Bradley Lovings. Is Williams getting a little whiff of slipstream from that Porsche here that's helping him? I'd be surprised, to be honest. He's 1.2 seconds behind at the moment, but he's got good straight line speed in that BMW. Tidwell not able to get anywhere for the moment. The Lamborghini not maybe quite as matched with the BMW. I would say they're quite well matched, to be honest, but down the hill they go, and no gains there for Tidwell. Young loses 1/10 of a second that lap, by the way. Nichols gains 1.4 seconds on the both of them out front. Meanwhile, Heath Ollinger has gone off the road.
Him and Marc Ossier have swapped places, but they have had their own bit of dramatics here. I'm not quite sure what Marc did. Oh, bro.
Ouch. That's
not good.
Through X-Muller.
Yeah.
Just a bit of contact out of the corner. He is still going, which is good news for him. And Heath Ollinger through exactly the same corner.
Could be
no
overtaken. There you go.
Problems? Oh, he just goes through.
Yeah, he just goes through on it.
But how's he got the damage now then? Or was I just seeing him at an awkward angle? Because I thought when we cut to him a few minutes ago, he had some damage. He's behind Ossier again now as well.
Yeah, I think Heath might be looking at seeing it.
No, Ollinger is back behind Ossier again after overtaking him on that replay. So
yeah.
And Ossier's off in front. Dear, oh dear, that was quite close. Here's the pass. Maybe he just got caught and then passed again, I suppose. no crash or damage or anything, but Ossie just slipping through. It's just as we cut to it at this stage. Hollinger looks slow to me, but no, he was just being passed by Ossie, who gets through pretty nicely and up into 18th, which is second place in the AM class.
Yeah, we've got obviously Jeff Sepulveda leading the AMs at the moment. Wassier and Hollinger in behind that. So we've still got about an hour and 3 minutes. Lovings is now in the clutches of Jonathan Williams, and Hayden Young still escaping with Ryan Merriam, but Nichols is on the prowl and he's coming quick here.
He certainly is. This is great driving from Alfie Nichols at the moment to boost himself up into third position. Young and Merriam battling is only going to help him as well as they go on to lap 4. They might be at the end of a first stint of the race at the end of this lap as well, by the way, as James Hillerick comes into pit lane at the end of lap number 3. Hayden Young is really close to Merriam again now on the way through Flugplatz. We saw this, was it last lap or the one before? They were really close, and Merriam's surely going to have to defend again here into Srednkreuz, just as he did a couple of laps ago. Young into the slipstream of the Audi. Surely he's going to be able to pull alongside here if he wants to, or does he want to just stay in behind and work with him? It looks like he's worked his way alongside almost by accident. He lifts off, he lets Merriam in, and it's same as a couple of laps ago. Merriam half defensive, but no need really. He stays in front.
Yeah, I would, for me, stay as they are. They're not doing any dramatics. They're not doing, they're keeping that gap to about 2 seconds. I would just keep pushing and staying as you are. For Young, he's got the option of pushing down the Dartngahoe. Go push him. Push him every chance you get. Just make sure you don't push him off. But otherwise, Nichols is going to be there really, really quickly.
I mean, there's a sense of inevitability about this, to be honest, that Alfie Nichols is going to get there anyway. So I just wonder whether these two are just going to think, well, he's going to catch up to us anyway. Why don't we just battle it out right now? And at the moment, that's seemingly what they're doing. I think Young is actually trying to stay behind Merriam here, but Merriam is still not quite sure about this, and he's taking a few defensive shapes into a few of these corners, which is giving Young a bit of an advantage, an upper hand, and it's certainly giving Nichols the chance to catch them.
But it's not catching. 1.8 over the last 2 sectors, or 3 sectors probably here. The gap's been 1.8, then it's been back out to 2.1. Now it's teetering on the edge of 2.1 again. There are certain parts where these guys are quicker than Nichols, and there's certain parts where Nichols quicker than them. So I think it's roughly balancing itself out across the lap at the moment, that they're going to keep that gap to about 2 seconds. If they stop fighting, they have to stop fighting. Coming out through Bergberg now, what I would do with Nichols would just be, what I would do if I was Young, would just be sitting in behind Merriam and pushing him up the hill. Try and get him as far away, try and open a gap as far away from Nichols as much as you can here.
Yeah, it does make sense when we're thinking about it sat here like this, but down on the circuit, very different prospect. 1 hour to go in the race then. We've got just about half an hour gone of the OGRL Coffee Cup finale here from the Nurburgring Nordschleife on the Grand Prix full circuit with the short chicane and then full Nordschleife as well. It is round 24 of the championship, the end of season 2. It's been a fantastic season, stretching all the way back from July. Nearly 8 months of action and 24 races across those months as well. It's been fantastic to watch, and there's 1 hour left now of this season. We've done 25 hours of racing so far. Now time for hour 26 and the final moments of this season to come here on the Nurburgring.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy that we've done 26 hours of racing. I wonder how many broadcast hours we've done.
Well, roughly the same, just a bit more at the beginning and the end.
Well, it ain't roughly the same then, is it?
Well, it is roughly.
About 20 minutes, give or take. That depends on how many interviews we have as well. Let's be real.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess accumulatively, maybe an hour extra per broadcast, somewhere around there. Maybe a bit less, but for the ease of maths, yeah, maybe it's getting close to 50. To be honest, we'll see. But anyway, and as far as these drivers go and practicing and all the effort that's gone in before and after the races, then lots of hours have gone into this. But I think personally in a lot of sim racing series that having them every week and them all over very quickly is actually, I don't think, a great thing for a series. I think a much better series is one like this that stretches over months like you would see in the real world. And, this has been a bit of a, I suppose, winter series, you'd call it, for 2024 and 25. But, it doesn't really matter whether it's over the winter or over the summer months. I think it is fantastic to have a long season, some week breaks in between, just so you don't get tired of the series, to be honest, because people do get fatigued racing every single week in some series. It feels more like a real achievement to get to the end, towards the top of a championship season, when it's stretched over months like this, rather than just a normal iRacing season, which is every week for 12 weeks.
Yeah, I suppose. Are you saying then that more people should adapt this as leagues to go for a longer series running?
I think.
Say that again?
Did you ask do I think that they should?
Do you think they should, more leagues, adapt the longer series running than they do the ones that run every 12 weeks? Oh, Miss Kleins.
I think it works better, in many ways, as Jonathan Williams goes a bit wide there. Brad Tidwell's going to close in right in as a result here. But in summary, I think it does work a bit better. On board then with Tidwell here, just gets a bit of understeer through Gavin Kopp here. Now he's going to be right into the slipstream of this BMW, side by side for the lead as well, by the way, between Young and Merriam in towards the very end of the lap. And Ryan Merriam has been overtaken here. Young in the slipstream here, and that Porsche has seen Alfie Nichols coming. He knows that on lap 4 he's going to get up to them, and so he's got into the lead. He also knows they might be pitting in this time round, and so there's no disadvantage to overtaking here. It's into the pit lane they come. Is Tidwell going to do the same on Jonathan Williams down there in the battle for 9th place, and of course the battle for the overall lead in the Pro-Ams? Here they go down the hill. Tidwell not quite close enough. So they all come in. Has anybody saved a fifth lap of fuel? Excuse me, I'm not sure they have.
No, and is anybody going to make sure they can get in cleanly without any dramas or dramatics? But no speeding penalties, no nothing silly. Because at the moment, Nichols is still there, Merriam's still there, Young's still there. Sean Riley sat in behind, tyres for certain people at the same time. If Nichols gets out in front, I don't think he's had put tyres on, but at the moment everybody's going
I
through.
think they will do. I think they will every time. There's no point. Otherwise, Merriam gets out just in front of Nichols. They have the same pit stop times effectively there. 24 seconds for Young, 25 for Merriam, just a little bit longer, but that's enough to do tyres while you're covered by fuel. So everybody's going to get away with that, and they're going to go out and do another 4 laps, you would expect. Out of the pit lane comes everybody else as well. No changes in the order, I don't think. What about Williams versus Tidwell on the way out of pit lane? Williams is out, Tidwell out just in behind him. It's very close, but Jonathan Williams hangs on.
Yeah, as they were once more. The only difference is now for Ryan Merriam is he's got Nichols right up his gearbox. Young's escaped down the road by about 1.4 seconds. Don't get me wrong, I expect that to come back in. But at the same time here, Ryan Merriam is going to have to make sure he don't crack to the pressure, shall we say, of this one. Then he got about 8 tenths.
Yeah, exactly. Is that going to allow, is a battle going to happen and Young allowed to get away? We will wait and see over the course of the next 4 laps. We've got 55 minutes to go. They should be able to go another 4 laps. According to my calculations, this will be an 11-lap race. So there's 1 lap, effectively, of wiggle room here. Is anybody going to come in after lap 7, for example, and decide that is the
Nichols
time to pit?
Merriam.
Ryan Merriam has got to slow down. Meanwhile, he's made an error, and that is one of the easiest passes Alfie Nichols has had to make this season.
Yeah, Ryan Merriam's had to slow down. And that is job done. Nichols has gone through. He's now going to be on his bike after Hayden Young. And Merriam gone from leading on lap 4 to 3rd by the beginning of lap 5 into Nord. So Ryan Merriam's gone down the hill quite quick here, and he now needs to just make sure he can recover. Tidwell and Williams still as they were. They're just entering into the Nords as well for their 5th run. See if the Lambo can stay with the BMW, but now Ryan Merriam's got work to do. Keep your cool, says Stacey. Well, it looks like he might have already just sort of lost a couple of positions already.
Well, he has done, and you know it is about now just getting his head down and getting on with this, and seeing where he's going to get to by the end of the day. Because in a matter of kilometres, there he's gone from leading the race and Young being pretty securely behind him to now running third place behind Alfie Nichols, who had that spin and presented them with a big opportunity here. So this is going to be difficult for Merriam to bounce back from. He's going to have to, though, because he's got no other choice, really. This is the battle for the Pro-Am win as well. Jonathan Williams, by the way, is still enough positions ahead of Pernod Hanno, even if he loses the lead right now, to overtake him in the championship. So a race win and an extra position in the championship for Jonathan Williams will be a very successful afternoon indeed.
Yeah, it will be. Any position gain towards the end of the series is always good. It makes you feel like you're on top of the world, doesn't it, for these guys? And I think that's the thing for Williams. Over Hanau, 1 place gained. He's going to be chuffed. So what matters, isn't it? Really moving up into that position that he wants ahead of Pernod Hanau. So fair play to him.
1.3 seconds between first and second now. Hayden Young versus Ryan Merriam and Alfie Nichols in between them as well. If Merriam could just stay with Nichols here and the three can get into the slipstream, then maybe we are going to get a run to the line at the very end with a few battling at the finish. But there's still a very long way to go. Still more than half of this race to go.
Yeah, and we've lost 2 people. Pankau in pit lane. Sawyer is still in pit lane and has been in there for 5 minutes plus. What did JT do? And did he enter or jump back to pit lane? He jumped straight to pit lane.
He jumped straight back, yeah. So I got distracted by the pit stops too distracted by the pit stops to report it at the time, but this was into Bergberg. Oh, wow! He broke way too late there. He missed his braking point completely.
Oh, JT, and then hits the wall on the other side as well. So that's JT back to pit lane in that very damaged car. Tidwell and Williams provided us with some racing on lap 5, 51 minutes to go. What do we think? 3 wide over down towards Tiergarten at the end. Young, Nichols, Merriam.
Probably too early to say. I'm going to go with no. I'd like it, of course. We'd like to see it, but it's just a different kettle of fish, isn't it? I mean, even after the 1 hour races this season, when Alfie Nichols has been leading, he's been very difficult to catch, and he won by a long, long way last week. He's won by a long way in the past as well. I think it's going to be very, very difficult indeed for anybody to get near him, really, and indeed everybody else. Are they going to end this race 3 wide? I think that's something we'd certainly like to see. I don't think it's likely. It's just a different kind of race when it's 90 minutes long. It's 50% longer and a lot more difficult to stay close together.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's very hard, and we have talked about the difficulty of Nords and the curbs and everything else, and it's been, as you say, some experiences with Sawyer, Price, Bonty all out or in pit lane already, you know, so anything can happen and probably most likely will.
Absolutely it will. As Tidwell continues in behind Jonathan Williams. This is an interesting battle between these two because, you know, at the start of the day, or normally I think you'd think Lamborghini probably does have a bit more straight line speed than the BMW, just looking at the shape of them and the engine power as well. But actually, the Lamborghini looks like it's struggling at the moment to actually get past the BMW just up in front. And you do start to realise that actually, even though the Lamborghini is one of the sort of more aerodynamic looking cars, actually not quite as, and sounds like it would be very powerful, actually doesn't look like it's quite powerful enough to be getting anywhere near the BMW at the moment.
No, I think that's the thing with a Lambo. It should produce fireworks, you know, and big loud bangs and stuff like that, and it's nothing more than a sparkler. It just really doesn't do anything well. It's just something that you thought should do something well, but then really doesn't do a lot. It's a weird car in reality terms, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, Nichols has passed Young out front.
Wow, Young's made a mistake then, because Nichols was about a second behind earlier on, but he's closed in rapidly here, and Young has seen the pressure get to him. He's up on that curb, through into us. Wow, He's gone very wide there, and Nichols has gone straight past him. That's a strange one for Hayden Young. He's now got to stay in the slipstream. He's got to stay with Nichols for as long as he can.
I'm surprised he almost gave that up really easily. Or was that just my eyes and my interpretation of what went on there? It did look like he gave it up. I'm a little bit worried now that obviously Merriam's 1.6 back from these. Young is in the Porsche that really hasn't got the grunt to try and stay with the Ferrari. So unless Nichols makes another mistake, I think he could end up making this 5 in a row. Makes you wonder where he would have been if he was in the whole championship, because he's literally closed in a lot of these pros already, and he's only been here for this one season.
Yeah, exactly. It is impressive. I'm very much looking forward to season 3 and seeing who's going to be here for the whole time and who's going to really be contending for the championship, because of the way that it works and the split seasons, if you like. You get people staying a lot close together throughout. You can't actually miss one race in every 6 and not really lose out in the championship. So you don't have to be here every week. There's weeks off as well, and so it just reduces the stress on everybody a little bit, and it also encourages people to come here a little bit more often. And it's created some great championships at the very end as well, as we've been talking about through this final 6 rounds. Meanwhile, Carl Sirrett through on Jeremy Cheney. What a fantastic race he is having, and fantastic season as well. Carl Sirrett, one to watch next season for sure, as he moves up to 6th place here. And Jonathan Williams comes into pit lane.
That is first or his second?
Sure. It looks like a drive-through to me.
No, he's stopping.
Oh, no, he's pulling into his box.
Unless he's going to pit early, so then when everybody else goes in for their second stop, he won't have to.
Well, he'll have to come in for a third. That's what he'll have to do. Meanwhile, side by side between Hanno and Dukowski. Hanno needs these places in the McLaren, and he does move through into 17th. So that is Pernod Hanno up 1, and all of a sudden Jonathan Williams overtaking the championship is now not going to happen, because Hanno moves up. They will be tied as things stand, as Sepulveda gets past Williams. Indeed, it's gone back the way of Hanno again, who's going to hang on to his championship position. But this is quite a long stop for Jonathan Williams. This is not scheduled because Horvath has made a scheduled pit stop. Now he is making his, jumping up on the jacks. Williams is just sat there on the tarmac, not doing anything. Now he goes after 49 seconds. Not sure what that's for.
Don't know. Don't know on that one. Horvath in pit lane as well. Does that look... That looks like a scheduled stop. So maybe they are stopping early to get 5 laps in.
Oh, no. Horvath had to stop at the end of lap 1 because he had damage. So
yes,
he is able to go a lap longer only because of that. Williams is completely unexplained because there's still 6 laps to go and he's never going to do that on fuel.
No. No, he's not. Oh, Nichols needs to be... Mum? Didn't get your internet sorted out, Mum.
Quite hard, a week turnaround.
Oh, you know. Gotta get it done, haven't they? Because the thing is as well, next season, there's also that new flag thing coming in, isn't there, for connections? Where it teleports you straight back to pit lane. If you blink around too much.
Yeah, you've got to be blinking around a lot for that, though, based on what I've seen recently.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to set the strength of it or what you'll be able to do with it. But, yeah, if you're having connections issues, it will take you straight back to pit lane.
Yeah, I can... I don't think that's quite going to be a problem, but it would be pretty dramatic and disappointing for Alfie Nichols if it happened. Meanwhile, Bradley Tidwell is now the leader of Pro-Am by some distance, because Jonathan Williams is only out the pit lane now, down in 17th place. Bailey is over 15 seconds behind William Bailey, so Tidwell looking comfortable. He's now going to try and pass another champion in waiting. The Pro and the Pro-Am champions in waiting, surely, are about to interact on the circuit again here on lap 6.
Yeah, but if I was Lovins... Just chill, man. Let him go. Let him have his moment. That's what I would do.
Well, we're actually getting quite close to a situation now where he can't actually lose the championship because Sawyer's only done 3 laps. If he only stays there on the circuit, then well, if he doesn't get back out on the circuit again, then he's going to be fine here. There's 5 laps still to go at the end of this one for Tidwell. At the moment, at the end of this one, he'll be 3 laps ahead of 26th place. So at the end of the next lap, I think it's almost certain, and at the end of the one after that, the end of lap 8, it will certainly be certain that Bradley Loving says, "Oh, won the title, but he can't be too arrogant with it just yet." Through miss, he goes for a big spin just in front of Tidwell. He's got a lot of time here to reverse and get back on, though. He's got to do this quickly-ish because Bailey's going to be not too far around the corner here. He's got to do this quickly here, Lovings. He's got to get off the racing line. Bailey knew it was coming. Lovings is now waiting on the racing line with Modric just down in 12th. Now he's going to get back going. Lovings is down to 11th. He'll be down to 12th as Modric goes through.
If he doesn't win this championship, he has just literally had the biggest skill issue going into this final round I've ever seen. He's only got to keep it on track. And one man that clearly did not keep it on track is Curtis Matthews, because he's had to jump back to pit. He's run out of fuel. Yep.
Yeah. Agonisingly short as well of pit lane. That's the second time he's had to tow back to pit lane. Won't be a long tow, but even so, that's very disappointing for Curtis Matthews, who is now down on pit lane, and Loving's situation gets even easier. I'm not sure actually Loving's is going to have to do any more laps here because some of those guys down the back end of the field surely are not going to be able to get out again themselves either. So Loving's is in a very secure position, although that spin through miss won't have helped.
Definitely not Scott Carson. Bro! That's all he's put in YouTube chat. Oh dear. Don't Scott. He's only got to get it to the end. As I said, if he throws it away, it's... Well, he shouldn't in hindsight, should he, really, with the people in pit lane? But you never know on that one. You never know at all.
Even getting to the end might not be required now. Although Sawyer is back out on the circuit again along with Matthews, so he is going to have to do some more laps as it turns out. Now, Tim Sawyer is on lap number 4. He's only a lap and a half behind Loving, so yeah. What was it, 27th for tying? So yeah, it would only be a tie at the moment. And I'm not sure how we'd sort the championship out in that case, really.
Countbacks, I guess. Wins, yeah.
I'm not sure. It's quite hard to work out who's had what wins so far because the season's split into 4 different pieces and we don't get the individual race results from every single one, but just this season. And also, we might have a different countback rule. I did a series not so long ago that had countback as the amount of penalties they got throughout the season as the first deciding factor before wins.
That's quite an interesting way of doing it.
Right. I encourage people to keep clean, I suppose.
Drag races for the tiebreaker. I love that. Butts one to the end of the dot and a hoe wins. That's what I think
that's more car manufacturer skill than anything else, isn't it?
Well, what would you like me to...
I suppose they're in the same car, so it doesn't matter particularly. And Herring's not here, which is going to be even more difficult.
Yeah, Herring is probably nursing a very big headache.
Probably asleep. As Lovings go past Cole Modric down to 12th place. I said earlier, by the way, Modric wasn't here. I just couldn't find him because I'm blind. So he's 12th. The reason why I was bringing it up, though, was because he is only 21 points behind Jeremy Cheney, who he can pass today. However, at the moment he is behind him and probably needs Cheney to go off the road somewhere for that to really become reality. So Modric continues to run around 12th place, but Bradley Lovings passed him and up into 11th again. He just needs to get his head back down again, back into the rhythm again, really, at the end of lap 6.
Yeah, I think he's just got to get his head back in it now. Just, chill. It's Nords. It's a drive. You stick your kids in the car and you just poodle around for 8 minutes. You know what I mean? That's what he's got to do. Carl Sirrett in pit lane at the same time. He's gone in at the end of lap 6 as well.
He's not going to make it home with that.
Loving
strategy, I wouldn't have thought.
Purser still fighting.
Yeah, Tidwell and Purser, meanwhile, down the front straight, and Alan Purser is going to work his way through down on the inside here. How much is Tidwell actually going to fight for this? It looks like he is. He just puts across the nose of the BMW there in towards turn number 1, and Tidwell hangs on to 7th place. So I thought he would just give up that place, knowing that he's in the prime lead and he's the champion as well. Thought, well, I'm just going to consolidate this position in that case, but no, he decides to cut the nose off Purser and stay ahead towards turn number 1.
Fair play, he's a racing driver, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Hayden Young and Ryan Merriam are back together. That's partly due to the fact that this man has pulled out about 4.1 seconds at the moment, out in front. So he's kind of escaped on his bike a little bit. Jonathan Williams has got Dudkowski. I wish there would just be a Lexus coming. I've got to be honest, the BMWs with their Lexus liveries. Jonathan Williams and Alan Purser as well. What's Belts'? Is Belts got the right one? No, Belts hasn't even got a Lexus kind of ish livery. Yeah, he has. So can we just get a Lexus, please? Just to put it out there. Not like we haven't got enough GT3s, is it? You know what I mean?
No.
No.
Not for the moment.
No, forget TCRs that need updating. Let's just add more GT3s that don't.
I'm trying to find if there are any updates on what cars are being developed at the moment and going to be released, because it is week 13 next week, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a new Ferrari GTP apparently, or working the Ferrari GTP.
Been changing it.
Yeah, there's something, part of the development of something going on. I watched a video yesterday. I can't remember everything else of what was happening. Utilising new real-world data and adjusting and expanding testing practices of physical tyres and composition for the GTP and LMB2s. Complete overhaul of the hybrid system that's taking place as well. Phase 1 is ready to go, so that'll be out fairly shortly. Can't see any. Oh yes, as well. There was some updates on NASCAR and ARCA, I believe, were also being worked over at the same time. But yeah, nothing on CLs.
Oh dear. I mean,
I know. If you're going to let a series die, you might as well just ignore it for 3 years, right? That's the way it's
what they do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And people wonder why you go into TCRs and there's nothing there, or you go into WRX and there's nothing there, because nothing's being updated. They're bringing. The thing is, it's part of the money-making wheel. If they don't bring out GT3s and GTPs and LMPs, the wheel stops. But so what they do is they ignore everything else to purposely work on these kind of situations, because the wheel's got to continue. And yeah, get a shiny new car, people rush out and buy it.
It is a business after all. I did think that the Arcas were already in the game, to be honest, but there you go. The Arca stock cars are the new cars for this time around. I'm not sure we've even got any new tracks.
Hold on, they are. Where is
the Arcas now? I think the Arcas we've got from the previous generation, I think, because it's based on the NASCAR Cup car that we used between '92 and the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Which then became the Arca car for the next era after that. So I think those Arcas are now for the current era, the ones that are used like now. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I've got no idea.
Okay, so here we go. So let's just give you a quick run. A pair of Gen 4s are nearing completion. These 2003 era cars include Speedway, Super Speedway, both in terms of physical and of the actual car model. Close to shipping needs with Susan 2, but ultimately need a bit more time. Significant projects are underway for IndyCar, NASCAR Cup Series. Each received the latest pre-V version 10 tyre model, aero modelling updates and associated advances. We have another Ferrari in the works, and our team have been challenging themselves to deliver the best physics, graphics and audio model possible, utilising that because, you know, that's highly on the list of what we actually need. But yeah, new tracks, scans of Adelaide has taken place, Miami International Autodrome, Autodroma Hermanos Rodriguez, I don't know where that is.
You don't know where that is?
Where is it? Expand our offering. We were at NASCAR and F-Way tracks in North America. Apparently, Mexico City is a great track. So there we go.
That's the Mexican Grand Prix circuit.
Oh, is that what?
Can't
Why
believe
didn't
it.
they just call it name? Call it that? I didn't know what.
Because that's not the circuit name, is it?
Oh well. So that's on its way apparently. Yeah, but nothing on TCRs, nothing on WRX, nothing on any other series that's been disregarded for the last 3 years at all.
It must not have been taken up very well the first time round, so I'm not doing it again. So there you go. Not many people want to do TCR. Dukowski versus Williams for 15th place is the one on your screen at the moment. Williams fresh from that slightly strange pit stop on lap 5. Don't really know why he came in, to be honest. Still really haven't got to the bottom of it. The only thing I can think of is to serve a penalty, really, that he must have got for speeding on the exit of pit lane, or maybe crossing the white line on the exit of his first stop, because he came in normally with everybody else on lap 4, and then since then he's just come in again for whatever reason. Has now given himself a 3-stop race to do, so can't really explain what he did there, but he's now looking for 15th place and looking for a run back through the field. Disappointing to see him drop from 1st to 5th though in the Pro-Am standings.
Yeah, but whatever he's done, he clearly could have been, as you say, long enough for a penalty, because it is only 40 seconds, 49 seconds. So it could be long enough for a stop and hold, but what he probably should have done is unticked everything, and then you find your stop and hold goes down to about 2 seconds. So, you know, that's a trick for everybody that goes into pit lane for a stop and hold. Disconnect everything. Untick fuel, tick window washers or pools or whatever it wants to call it. Tyres, the whole lot, and your penalty goes down to about 2 seconds.
Absolutely. It's 32 minutes remaining in this race. Now, Alfie Nichols still out front by about 5 seconds ahead of Hayden Young, who's been caught by Ryan Merriam now. 2nd place, so that battle has rather swayed a bit between the two of them. With that amount of time remaining, should be another 4 laps, and that will give us an 11-lap race here today, as expected. That means you can pit any time from now and get to the end of the race for absolute certain, and that might be what Young's done, or has he just made an error? I don't know, but he was caught there by Ryan Merriam pretty quickly, and he is coming into pit lane. I think he made the error before he came into pit lane, though, and so that's why he's suddenly down to 3rd.
Well, we're going to find out. Oh, yep. Into Tiergarten, last corner, onto the grass, and Hayden Young ended up going in pit lane. That's where that error come from. Jim Cunningham's in pit lane as well, but he's driven in this time. No jumping back to the pit lane for him. But Tidwell did not make it past Purser going through the Dottingham this time.
I don't think he's interested in going through. He was interested in defending, but winning that place back again is going to be a bit more difficult. And not something he's particularly interested in, I don't think. Young might go just get ahead of these guys. He needs to, really. Otherwise, he'll be in a bit of traffic here, down the straight. Purser on the outside. He might get him here. Young's on the inside for the first bit, but he'll be getting him back up to speed again. He is just about going to hang on. I think he forgot he had to go left there immediately, though. And he loses out to Purser. He could have done with some clean air there and some laps on his own, but no, he's not going to get this clean lap on his own. He's going to be stuck in traffic on this outlap.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he forgot he had to go left there. I think he come out of the pits and completely forgot that he had to go that way. And then unfortunately for him, he loses that place to Purser. So little slight memory lapse there lost from Hayden Young. But he did manage to keep it ahead of Tidwell, which was always important. We've got Brian Dukowski and Damien Horvaten having a nice little battle. Damien not really doing overly well at Nords this time around.
He did have that extra stop and that early stop on lap 1, so he's working his way back through the field, and I'd imagine he just passed Dukowski quite recently. In fact, he did, so he's on the march up through the field. Pernod Hannock comes into pit lane meanwhile from 14th place, but he can now pit and make it to the end. Final half an hour of this race now, and it looks, to all intents and purposes now, that this is Alfie Nichols' race to lose. We did see him make a mistake earlier on, and so that will give the others a lot of hope, I suspect, but with 7 seconds over Merriam, he is comfortable at the front of this race as we watch James Hillerick getting back onto the circuit at Bergvik.
Yeah, he did something else here because he jumped straight back to pit lane.
Already damaged.
Whatever Hillerick did in that corner, that's where some of it all started, and then he ended up back in pit lane. Jonathan Williams in pits again.
Dear, he can't get enough. Because... Oh, no, that doesn't make sense at all, does it? No.
Well, unless the last one was a stop and hold, which you then can actually do your pit side.
Yeah, I think he put another lap of fuel in. I think it was a 40-second penalty as normal for Jonathan Williams in that lap 5 pit stop. He did a 49 seconds in the box though, so I think he put another lap of fuel in for those other seconds and then got on his way. But that doesn't really line up with why he would pit now. He was stuck behind Dudkowski, so maybe he wanted to get out of the traffic, but even so, that's a bit strange. Alan Purser, meanwhile, is under pressure from Hayden Young, who needs to get through here. Purser realises that, and they are going to reach an agreement. So 2 or 3 minutes of this opening lap here for Hayden Young has been spent behind Alan Purser, and he will have lost a bit of time in that, but now he's got to really push on and neutralise this out lap to stay ahead of Ryan Merriam for second.
Yeah, if he can, it's going to be an interesting one whether or not they've actually caused each other dramatics there for Young. Venroy and Riley are in together. They're sitting in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Nichols out in front. Look at that. 7 seconds at the moment as well. Absolutely flying for Nichols. Doing a great job on that. Doesn't look like Williams. No, I think that could be the fact that both of them have just gone slowly for Sepulveda and Williams. But Cunningham pit lane, Hillerick pit lane, Pankow pit lane, Bonty and Price out.
Pankow, I would say, effectively out as well, to be honest, because he's been in pit lane since lap 1, and surely no repair takes that long. Surely he is out of the race and just hasn't left yet in the session. For that 27th place, by the way, for Bradley Lovings, we have, as you say, got James Hillerick in pit lane. So he's not in any better position as he was before, because Sawyer's still out there on the circuit, but Lovings is closing in on a championship. As soon as he starts the final, at this stage, as soon as he starts the final lap, he will know that is a lap of honour, and he will be able to win the title without completing the final lap, although I'm sure he will.
Yeah, well, at one point we worried about him even completing a race, let alone the final lap for Bradley Lovins. He's down at 11th at the moment in that Porsche, and hasn't quite been overly comfortable, especially there. That was the site of one of his spins. Oh! And that was nearly another one.
Oh dear.
It's a parade. I don't get what he's doing. He's just a parade. He doesn't want to kill himself.
I think he's just struggling out there, to be honest. And I don't really know why, but just not getting on with his circuit. We'll chat to him at the end of the day, of course, whichever way it goes for him. But there are some of those circuits that you just find very difficult, and this might be one of them. Although he was talking a lot about Josh Herring not really liking this circuit very much. Maybe he was just playing some mind games because he doesn't like it very much. He is struggling out there.
Yeah, but he's been in that series where he drives it every week as well. So, if he didn't like it, he wouldn't drive it every week. But he does have to make sure that he can at least get round it, because otherwise he's, yeah. Please make sure you get to the end. You know what I mean? Van Roy and Riley are still back together once more.
Well, it's the battle for third again. David Van Roy looking to get himself back onto the podium again. So far this season, he's been on the podium twice. That came earlier on in the season. That's Barcelona and Road America. He was running in the podium places when he disconnected from Watkins Glen as well. So he's had a very good season all in all. Hasn't been here at all the rounds throughout all of the season, unfortunately, which is why he's in 6th place in the championship at the moment. Lost over 100 points in the first sub-season, for example, and over 100 in the third one as well. So really dropped back as a result of all that. This is our champion waiting in the AM class, by the way. I haven't seen very much of him today, and this is him going slowly, I would have thought, through turn 1.
Yeah, he's just picked up that he's gone rather rather slowly. As soon as you see him kind of running down the start-finish line, you know what's coming. But got to check, just in case they have actually had a crash.
I don't know why it does that. When you're going so slowly, registers as a crash, because they're not even going that slowly. I would understand if they were stopped and it registered, but then they're not even close to stopped.
Well, Curtis Matthews is back in the pit lane, so he's going to be stopped very, very shortly. And Jim Cunningham's been in there a while, so at the moment, it looks like we've lost a few other drivers. 24, is JT still running? Oh, he is still running. So fair play to JT. Yeah. So we're down technically to 25, I suppose, taking away the bottom half.
Yeah, so that's down 1/6. You're looking for 1/4 of the.
You said 23rd and 22nd, right?
Yes, I did. Either 22 or 23 still out there, and I'll give it to you. 25%. You can't actually get 22.5.
Yeah, I only need 2 more cars. It'll be fine. The way Lovins is going, he'll be out there on his own soon. He'll be doing it. I don't, you know, it's still time. 22 minutes. I only need 2 more cars. It's fine.
Certainly. Meanwhile, Alfie Nichols comes into pit lane for the final time this season, and the 3 laps to go is going to be completed with him at the front by the looks of things. But behind, it's going to be interesting to see whether Ryan Merriam gets out ahead of Hayden Young or not. They're quite close to the end of their pit stops already. Young only spent 21 seconds in the box that time, and Alfie Nichols is just ticking up towards that right now as Merriam stops in his box. Also, he will begin to tick upwards. What's the pit stop going to be for Nichols? Goes over 21 seconds. This is a bit longer for Alfie Nichols, the race leader. 24 seconds. He's going to be caught by a few seconds here by the others, but he had a good enough lead to be able to do that here. Nichols gets out onto the circuit. Merriam, just 20 seconds. I think he's going to be in front here of Hayden Young. Here he comes in the Porsche down the straight. His lap was quick enough anyway. He was quick enough anyway, despite being caught behind Purser through the first pit. Young was quick enough to hold on to second.
Yeah, he was. He got out in front of Merriam there. I just wanted to see what Lovins is going to do, whether or not he's going to jump in. I think most of them should effectively jump in at the same time. Yeah, there they go. So no change is going to come from Lovins. But yeah, Young did get out in front of Merriam just. And now they should be good for the next 21 minutes till the end of the race here.
We've had a couple of pit stops in the last few moments. James Hillerick, by the way, coming into YouTube chat to say that he gave it his best today. Indeed he did. But Ryan Dukowski has dropped back to pit lane, and that's his spin through the Klein carousel, just before the Klein carousel. Didn't see him hit the wall too hard, so not sure why he's towed. But there you go. He did hit the wall quite hard just beforehand, that's why. So that is going to be damage, and Brian Dukowski back to pit lane.
Yep, another one in pit lane. So, yeah, it's coming down. Not that I wish anybody
still got 25.
I'm just saying, I know, still got 25. Still fair play to them. Doesn't say Hillary gave it a go and then he gave up. That was the end of that.
Cunningham got back on the circuit, so he's back in the game suddenly.
Maybe not for much longer.
No, okay. This is through. It's just going slowly through onto the north side foot.
There's one.
Not sure why he's going so slowly. What's he doing?
I don't know.
He's got some sort of problem here. It looks like one of those moments when you're trying to sort out a technical problem and you're just sort of figuring out what your pedals are doing and what your steering wheel's actually doing here. What all the buttons do. Something looks not quite right for Cunningham. He keeps dragging the brake as he's accelerating, so I don't really know. Anyway, Cole Modric versus Damian Hoverton for 11th place is now going. Hoverton's still coming through the field after his earlier problems.
Yeah, that was lap 1, turn 1, wasn't it? I think where it all just went wrong for Damien, and then unfortunately he's now dropped down the order, fighting his way back up. He's up to 12th, so not a bad recovery. But him, James is still here. He said he's got 8-minute repairs. Don't rush, mate. There's no dramas. You know what I mean? You just sit and chill. Enjoy the broadcast, James. You don't need to go back out there, mate. Why bother with the stress? No. Don't do it to yourself.
You are really hoping for this. 25%.
I'm trying. Shush. He doesn't need to know about our little side bet. But, yeah.
He probably wasn't listening at the time, to be fair, because he would have been out there. So, yeah, he doesn't have a clue. But he's at the moment, he is in the way of your plans to have 25% out at the end. To be fair, I mean, we've got to give the credit to all of these guys for staying on the road so well. Outside of the opening few laps where it did get quite chaotic and it did spread out very quickly actually in this race. With 20 minutes to go, these guys have been driving for over an hour now, running very well indeed. As I say that, Jim Cunningham also dropped back to pit lane again.
Oh, yeah. And Ossia's, look, what's Jim done this time? There was more drama, or did he do this?
He's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he?
He's going to pull off. I think he's got suspension damage.
I think he's got some form of damage. Jim, sit at home, get a cup of tea. You'll be fine, mate. You see Jim later on the mic.
Oh dear! Even worse news. Dudkowski's out on the circuit again as well.
Only for now.
We are getting to that stage in the race where there could be repairs that take longer than what you've got left in the race, to be fair. So you might be in luck with that, as things said. It's not brilliant for Bradley Lovings either, who can't quite celebrate his title just yet. 27th, excuse me, is currently done 6 laps. Still, Jim Cunningham and James Hillick. At the moment, Lovings is just over 2 laps ahead of that. So he needs to get to the end of this lap. I think his title will be pretty much sealed at the end of this one. Doesn't really matter because we know at the end of the day it is going to be his title. He's going to have it by just over 10 points at the end.
Yeah. It's been a long season, and I think at the end of the day, to take the championship and to take the title is well deserved. He's been in and around, hasn't he? Always been up there. Would we like to see Heron here? Of course we would, but he's probably at home nursing a headache. Let's just put it that way. But for Lovins, fair play to him. That's all I can say. I can't really be too harsh. He's kind of the boss.
Yeah. Certainly he is.
Got to keep him sweet.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know if he's talked to you about future plans on a Sunday morning or what he's planning to do, but there's plenty of racing goes on, by the way, in the OGRL pretty much every night. So I'm sure that there'll be something in the works and plenty of racing in the works for OGRL in the near future. Now, unfortunately, that the Coffee Cup is coming to a close for season 2 at least.
Yeah, it's coming to the end. There has been some talks that we've been having chats about. I know there was some mix with other communities, seeing if to get something going with them, but we'll find out what OGRL are going to do as well. Jim's in YouTube chat. My technical problems are just bad driving skill. Oh, he hasn't got a technical problem.
I'm not sure why he was dragging his brakes like that then.
I don't know, Jim. Why were you dragging your brakes and moving your steering wheel in a rather weird move? There we go. I'll ask him. Find out when he comes back out. No.
Very bizarre.
I'm sure, Jim. I'm sure if he was having technical issues, Jim, tell us what they are, because at the moment we're saying that your skills are completely. Well, Ewan saying that your skills are a skill issue.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it looked like he had damage. That's all. This is up towards the fast left-hander. Hoverton very close to Modric. I'm surprised he's not been able to make the overtake yet, just in behind Bradley Lovings here, actually. They're about 2 seconds behind. You can just see them in the background, in the distance. But there they are. Modric versus Hoverton. Closest battle out on the circuit just for the moment, as those down towards the back end get themselves back out onto the circuit again for the end of this race. Say 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Which has not been able to make this overtake just yet, but he was last in on lap 5, so he's going to have to come in this time round, and he will put in a couple of laps fuel to go to the end, so he won't be challenging for the top 10 by the finish.
No, but he, as I say, he's got stops, hasn't he? I think he threw himself out all with that little drama in lap 1 of number 1, so unfortunately he is going to be all over the place. Merriam, however, has just passed Hayden Young, and Hayden Young's facing the wrong way. He's jumped back to pit lane.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's just literally grinded it. Did he get stuck? Oh, he did.
Oh, he did. Wow. He got stuck. That is really disappointing for Hayden Young. I know he made the error, but it's pretty unlucky to find yourself wedged like that. And he's had to tow back to pit lane. He will not drop all the way to 25th, but he will drop outside the top 10, I would say. Maybe not even that. We'll see where he drops to, but that is really disappointing. That's going to give Merriam second. It's going to get Riley and Roy battling over the last podium place.
Yep. That's going to make it even more interesting as well, because at the moment, we're down to like 24 to go. So there you go. Jim's got suspension damage. His wheel was shaking pretty bad. I was just trying to get out the leader's way as they were coming through. So there we go. That's what was going on with Jim.
That would have been what I was seeing, the wheel shaking quite badly for him. So there we go. 2 laps to go as Nichols and Merriam make their way over the line. These two will do the same shortly. Overton's been stuck behind Modric. It's not really going to matter too much for the moment because there's surely going to be a pit stop coming here for Overton at the end of this lap. But Modric nevertheless is holding on and now will be slipstreamed. Down the dodging hill they'll go. Surely there'll be a change here in towards the Tiergarten.
Yeah, but is it really worth it if he's got to go in pit lane?
Well, there's no disadvantage, I don't think.
Well,
there's no reason why not. Doesn't cost him any time to get in the slipstream and go through. So Overton will do just that on the outside line down the hill. And, well, he's making hard work of it. Side by side through the fast corners. There you go. And Modric will tuck back into line. Not sure he maybe knew that Overton will be coming in this time round. Otherwise, he might not have fought him so hard. But Overton just goes a little bit deep. Now he'll come into pit lane. And that will be the end of the top 10 for him. Will he get out ahead of Simon Belts, though, 40 seconds behind? He's holding back Bailey and Williams at the moment for second place in Pro-Am.
See, I would sit there now, and I've done this during the race. I've sat there and gone, what was the point in that? You battled me through Tiergarten. It could have ended dramatically, and then you just dived in pit lane and you couldn't wait 5 seconds. If it was 5, I don't know. Well, I didn't really see the point in that.
Yeah. Ben Roy spins. Ben Roy spins, and that might be that as far as his podium chances go. He'll end and he's getting out of the way of Carl Sirrett as well, who might be the one to chase down now. Ben Roy's got to do a whole 3-point turn here. This could be quite awkward. There we go. He'll get back going again now. He'll be back in the top 5, but that's the end of his chance of a podium, and Sean Riley should get to that podium. Hayden Young, meanwhile, gets back on the circuit. He'll be 12, just in behind Overton, actually, who gets out onto the circuit. Jonathan Williams now is up ahead of Belts. Bailey pits in from those podium places. The battles are really on there just outside the top 10.
Yeah, Young did come in YouTube chat briefly. No, I was catching Alfie too. I had to tow. I was beached on the curb. Lots of other swear words. Beep, 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 beep. He was, but he is out on the circuit once more there for them. So there we go. Yeah, I don't know. But me, there didn't seem any need to go and put 2 people in jeopardy through Tiergarten if you were going in pit lane when you weren't really massively faster. I don't know. Maybe let me know in YouTube chat. Do you see the point if you're going in pit lane, chancing somebody 2x2 in Tiergarten where we've seen it all go wrong multiple times?
Well, I think the reason why he went for it in the first place was because he thought it would be a bit easier than that, and actually I did as well, because they're in the same car. You would think that the slipstream down that long straight would be more than enough for you to slingshot past a bit easier than what actually happened in the end. So, I think he was doing a sensible thing, but just trying to gain that little bit of time that you can by making a pass just before, because it doesn't normally cost you that time. But it went a bit wrong that time. Meanwhile, battle for 12th place between Jonathan Williams and Hayden Young will continue. Good job for Williams to recover from that long stop to get back to second, but he'll be wondering what could have been today with Bradley Tidwell still out front.
Peter Holt in YouTube chat, like to send it livery, gents. Yeah, I think Tidwell's still there, sitting in 8th place, doing a job in the Lambo. Not really... well, he's not really near anyone at the moment. 29 in front, 7.5 behind. So he's just going to be sat there on his soft. This is the closest battle on track with the Lexus, not a BMW, and the Hayden Young Send It livery. So these guys fighting it out, doing a great job. Closest battle on the circuit. Everybody else is above there as well. Hayden's car looks good. Yeah, Pete, you might not want to say that, considering barely 5 minutes ago he was beached on a curb.
So make you feel better.
Yeah, so why you think he might look good, I don't really think he looked good at this moment.
I think he means he likes the look of it rather than...
I know, he likes a livery.
So, yeah. Oh, he went forwards initially. That was part of the problem.
Yeah.
So pretty unlucky, really, to find. So I'm not sure he would have caught Alfie Nichols, to be honest. I know he was talking about that, but I think Nichols has had this in the bag for a while now. There's still a certain podium for him, and he was certainly going to be second place, Young, because throughout that pit stop phase, even while he was slightly held up with traffic, he still managed to stay in front. So clearly had very good speed, but he's now fighting for 12th place, and he indeed gets ahead of Jonathan Williams with 8.5 minutes to go. So Hayden Young will finish the season to 12th place by the looks of things. He's currently 9th place in the championship. He wasn't going to ever move that position here today. But, he's going to wait, I think, for a season in which he can be here from the very start, because he's another one of those who, like Alfie Nichols, joined pretty late on, like Kyle Sirrett as well, joined pretty late on in the season.
A lot of them was this season, I think it was. I think some of them were towards the end of last season. Peter Holt and him are teammates, so that's why he come in and said that his car looks very nice. Well, it looked very nice right up to the point of where it was beached on a curb, obviously, for him on that one, Peter. But I think, yeah, I'd be interested to see what they do with this now. Where are they going to go? I suppose the rule would be if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. And let's be real about it. They've had above 30 cars. Probably, I don't think I've ever seen a session where they haven't had 30 cars. So I think for now, OGRL might as well stay as they are and not change anything, because clearly it's working. And it's, as I said before, it's a good time for Europeans. It's a good time for other time zones to get themselves involved with. You know, smack bang in the middle of the day. It's not too late in Australia either. I think it's like 10:30, something like that. So it's not too dramatic.
A bit later than that.
Oh.
It is, yeah, it's a bit later than that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not good for Australia, but good for everybody else.
No. Yeah, exactly. That's probably the only place where it isn't good for, to be honest with you. But you're always going to exclude one time zone, whatever time you do a race up. Someone's going to be in the middle of the night. That's the way that the world works. So that's unavoidable. But yeah, it is a great sort of time slot. Very unpopulated as well. As I mentioned before, I think in the afternoon in Europe, there's not all too much going on a Sunday, to be honest. In the morning in America, not a whole lot either. So yeah, it's a great time to hold a race, to be honest. And so I think yeah, so it could be or has been, I should say, a real success so far this season. And of course, GT3 racing just is very popular as well. We've just do a series before this one that's just moved to GT3s from another category of car, and you've seen the entry list go up by another 10 or so. It's just really popular racing.
Yeah, it is, and it's always going to be, isn't it? And that's the thing. It's recognisable as a popular car to drive, which, I don't know. Some may say it is, some may say it's not, some may like it, some don't. Whatever it is, it's clearly working within leagues and within, obviously, iRacing's wheel. So, fair play to them. Maximising the area to profit. Sepulveda and Ossio are going side by side briefly.
Seen too much of these two so far today, but they are fighting for the AM win. Jeff Sepulveda has been leading for a long time. Lacostier is trying to take that away from him, although he's just over 2 seconds behind now. He's losing a lot of time on the run towards Star Striker here. So we'll keep an eye on these two. But what a result this would be for Sepulveda. Why is Ossier losing so much time? Now 4 seconds behind. Is he damaged?
No fuel. Oh, he's damaged.
Sure, what's
Oh, he's damaged.
Not sure what he's doing. Yeah. Now, this, he already seems to be going a bit slowly here. Oh, there it is! In the curb on the right-hand side there, into the wall, and there's your damage. That's pretty severe as well. Compared to the contact that there actually was, that's pretty severe.
No, I wonder if there was any... Oh, no, this is him just going slowly. That was it, basically. As soon as you see him go to the start line, you're like, oh, no, just going slow. Carl Sirrett in pit lane. Oh, no, he's not.
He's out.
Out. Oh, Sirrett is out. That's another one. Find me. In and out.
So, Alfie Nichols, by the way, starts the last lap of the season with just over 4 minutes to go. He's got one more lap, and it'll be 5 wins in a row to end the season. What a statement that is.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what he's going to do if he comes back next season. How are they all going to stop him? You know,
I think they're not.
no, they just got to take him out, innit? Give him ballast. Pick every other car bar what he picks. So then they can ballast. You see, when you ballast the car in iRacing, you ballast the whole car for everybody that picks it. So if nobody else picks the Ferrari and they ballast the hell out of it, that will slow them down. One way to do it.
He's probably going to change car, to be honest, because the car that will be quickest for the next iRacing season will be different and blah blah blah. So
there's a new one coming anyway, isn't there? There's another Ferrari because that's needed.
GT3.
Yeah, but that's what I just said to you in the update.
What? Is it just an Evo of this? I suppose.
Well, all it says is there's another Ferrari coming. Now,
doesn't necessarily mean GT3, does it?
Well, you think it just says we have another Ferrari in the works, and our team has been challenging themselves to deliver the best physics, graphics, and audio model, utilizing all of our latest. It ain't going to be a W13, is it? You know what I mean? We ain't going to have a Ferrari one of them. We ain't going to have another Ferrari GTP. They've only just released the new GTP. Of course, it's going to be a GT3.
Well, might be an old GT3. It's not going to be. There isn't a more up-to-date one than this one, is there?
I don't know. Why would they work on an older GT3? That makes no sense. You're clearly.
I would like. I'd buy it.
Why? You don't even drive. Do you even have an iRacing subscription?
No, I don't. To be fair.
Exactly. So what would be the point of that?
Which is a slight problem. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of a space for retro cars, but anyway. Meanwhile, Purser versus Cheney up the top of the hill, and Purser is now through into the top 5 at the very end. This wasn't a battle I saw coming, to be honest. Cheney, last lap, though, lost 3.1 seconds to Alan Purser, who set a personal best. I feel like Purser's been learning a lot about the Nordside over the course of the last 90 minutes, and he's getting quicker as he goes.
Yeah, he is. He's done rather well for Purser. Sitting in 5th overall, so great job from him. Cheney in 6th. They are the closest ones on the racetrack. But let me know what, obviously, car you think the Ferrari's going to be there as well. Michael Chaplin's in. JPBroadcasting, thanks for such a wonderful broadcast you and your team put on week in and week out. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
And it's been good to be here this season, that is for sure, over the course of these 8 months. Mark Garcia, by the way, coming into pit lane, who will pass Carl Surratt, and so will the rest of them, who are still on the lead lap here. Hopefully after the race we'll be able to chat to the class winners. Look like they're going to be Alfie Nichols, Bradley Tidwell and Jeff Sebelveda. Looks in a bit more secure in that position now as well. And hopefully some of the champions as well, because none of the champions have won a race here today by the looks of things. Tidwell, I suppose. Excuse me. But yeah, other than that, the Pro and the Am champions have not taken class wins here today. Lovings is 7th in class as things stand, and Joey Mines is 23rd overall, which is only 5th in class for him. So they've missed out by the looks of things. It looks like this might be our last battle to watch to the line. These guys just over a minute, by the way, off of Alfie Nichols.
Yeah, I think it is. It'll be the last one here. Try and see where Nichols is. Bring him up. We know where he is on the screen. Oh, it's top right-hand part of the circuit. We've got a bit of a time before we can chase him down the Nottingham and across the line for his 5th in a row here, of course.
And that hasn't been done before this season. We've only got 24 races after all, but to get 5 in a row is quite extraordinary. And someone is going to have to work out a way of beating him here. He's got more. It feels like he's got more and more dominant actually as the season has gone on as well. Meanwhile, here comes Cheney on the back of Alan Purser, right in the slipstream at the moment of that big BMW. Can the Corvette use its straight line speed to get there? These two cars quite well matched, but the slipstream for Cheney will certainly benefit on this slight uphill run. He's going to have to be brave to go side by side through here, and he's just going to have to wait, maybe waiting on purpose, just for the back end of the lap and that run down the long straight for the very final time. Maybe that's where he's going to do it.
Yeah, it's got to be the Nottingham, I think, unless he can make it now, but he's far too late back. So for Jeremy Cheney, he's going to have to hold on and stay with him. Let's see how they all get through. See whether or not he can make it to the end. Nichols. Oh, okay. Still got a bit of time. there as well. So just wanted to give a huge shout out to Bradley Lovings for putting this together. A big endeavour for the league, and proud he was able to make it through. Dream of reality, I should say. And the broadcasters are a must watch. It's taking a great series to another level. So there we go, Mr. O'Leary. Making things better.
Well, I hope so. Up over the highest point, these two go. As they continue their battle for fifth, it'll be the run to the line that we'll watch between these two before some of the others come across. And by the way, good news for you. Looks like we've only got 22 running.
Told you. Winner, chicken dinner. That's 1-1.
You've got a lap to survive yet. Hang on.
Hey, everybody stay in the pit lane. If you are listening, just stay where you are. You don't need to come out. James, Hillary, chill out.
You can afford one to come out, but not two. And you can't afford anyone to retire on this last lap as they're driving round. And well, that's ages ago, isn't it, James Hillary? Or is he back out again?
No, he come back out and then went back in. So saved me.
That's either exactly what he did last time, or a replay from earlier. But yeah, he did pretty much exactly the same thing. He retired just after Bergberg last time. So anyway, he's back to pit lane now. Meanwhile, Alfie Nichols is coming under the bridge now and getting towards the Tiergarten for the final time. An unprecedented 5 in a row in waiting for him in the OGRL Coffee Cup. The final round here from the Nurburgring. Nordschleife, an hour and a half of racing. Even longer for him to stretch his lead out over the rest of the field. Not one of his bigger winning margins here today, but it was a race of dominance despite his spin on the opening lap. Alfie Nichols wins the final round of the OGRL Coffee Cup here from the Nurburgring in dominant fashion again. Meanwhile, further behind, Jeremy Cheney does get past Alan Purser through the small carousel. Purser makes an error, and that could be that for the final spot inside the top 5.
Yeah, I'll show you what he did. Gonna come out of that, he's gonna miss it. Yeah, pop out at the top on the grass, and Cheney does go through. So they have got the run down. They're darting at home now as well. So there we go.
In the slipstream. He's gaining very quickly here, Purser. Hold on a second. There could be more drama to come just yet here as Jeremy Cheney is reeled in. 2 temps under the bridge. They could be side by side. There's going to be... Oh, no, he's going to back out of it by the looks of it. He loses time back in towards the back end of the straight again here. Not sure why. There's no point in backing out here and whatever, unless he's running out of fuel, which I would find pretty surprising. He is going to finish 6th, Alan Purser. Meanwhile, Brad Tidwell is now going to make his way towards the end of the straight. It's been such a great season from him this time round. He's actually been in the top 10 on a couple of occasions this season. This is going to be another one of those. This is going to be his best result of the season so far. His previous best was at the 3rd round of this part of the season at Road America, but this 7th place is going to be even better than that. His first win for a couple of weeks as he finished behind Richard Modric and indeed Jonathan Williams 1 week ago. He's going to finish on the top step here at the final round of the season, though, and crown his championship season with a race victory at the very end. A very good drive indeed, again, from Bradley Tidwell. The biggest winning margin at the front of any of our championships. Coming into today, it was 66 points over Richard Modric. It's going to be even more at the end of the day, as behind him, Bradley Loving celebrates with a crash. He is the overall champion of the OGRL Coffee Cup.
Yeah, he is. He's taking the overall win. Great job from him. Joey Means, I think, has already finished over the line. He's taken the win in the AMS. So it's some fair play to some of these drivers here for wrapping these up. Hayden Young's going to come over the line. Sepulveda has...
Oh, hello. He ran out of fuel. He's out of the race. He's not just crashed. Is he out?
Yes.
I can't hear, so I'm
no,
relying on you.
Yes. William Bailey has got no... Where did that...
No, he's got no front end. So that means Heath Ollinger is going to win this race in the AM class by the looks of things. That is a last lap change for the AM lead with Jeff Sepulveda under fueling by a lap by the looks of it there.
Yeah, because he would have had to jump back to the pits, which would have come back the other way. I'll see if Ollinger gets past him here at the end. We've got a long way to go.
He's going slowly.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go before we get the results here.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Surely he's not out of fuel as well. No, he's not. He's just taking it slowly. just making sure he gets to the end. Yeah, if anybody jumps into the waiting room, we'll chat to them before we bring up the race results here. But Heath Ollinger is going to take the AM victory at the very end of the season. But as you mentioned, Joey Mounds has already crossed the line. He is crowned the AM champion in the OGRL Coffee Cup ahead of this man, Heath Ollinger, who looks like he's going to gain an extra 6 points at the end of the season. So the margin at the very end will be 43 points. Fairly comfortable for Joey Mounds in the end. Before Ollinger gets to the line and we'll celebrate his race victory, we'll chat to Sean Riley, who has popped himself in the waiting room, and indeed we can chat to him now. Congratulations, Sean, on a podium to end the season with third place for yourself. Tell us a little bit about those last few laps, as David Van Roy was close to you and then had that spin and you were able to take the third place comfortably. Just tell us about those last few laps.
Yeah, David was giving me a hard time. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I had a big moment. I don't know a single name of any of the corners, but I got super sideways and he closed the gap right up and was definitely putting the pressure on. And I guess he had an incident on the transition off of the Grand Prix track. And after lap one, honestly, just didn't see a lot of cars. I think somebody in front of me pitted a lap too early, and that's the only reason that I got third. I need to go back and look at the lap one incident too and see what happened there. I got together with Damien, and I don't know if either of us got any damage, but it put him in the grass, and that's unfortunate.
Well, it's the final round here tonight, of course, in the Coffee Cup. How have you found the season generally? Because we know through these last two seasons, particularly, we haven't been able to see you at as many rounds as we saw you in the first season, for example, where you scored the most points, tied most points with everybody at the end of the first 6 rounds. But how have you found the season overall?
Yeah, it was disappointing that I missed as many races as I did, but I hope when we get back together for the next season that I can be more consistent in showing up. It was a great time. Big thanks to Bradley and Michael, and I'm not sure who else puts the series together, but it's always a good time, and some hard-fought battles up front.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the podium here today, Sean. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Well, we get to the end of the season. Thanks again to everybody that puts OGRL together. I'm sure they get inundated with comments and suggestions, and they work hard to give us a fun series. And thanks to you guys for spending your Sundays with us. Makes the race a lot of fun to go back and watch.
Well, pleasure as always. Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, Sean, and thanks very much for chatting to us throughout the season.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Sean Riley, third place here tonight at the Nordschleife. We'll do one more before we get to the end of the race, because we are still waiting for Chris Lane to come across the line, and Ziflo as well at the very end. Oh, and it might take him a while. He's got no front right wheel on that one for the moment. So we will chat to Bradley Lovings. Actually, we'll leave him for later, because he is the organiser of the series. Let's go for Bradley Tidwell now, who is the winner here in the Primes today and overall in the championship as well. Congratulations, Brad, on the title and indeed today's race. You had a bit of a battle there with Jonathan Williams to deal with early on, though. How did you find the race?
Oh, that was that battle with Jonathan Williams to the first pit stop was so much fun. That's just what it's all about right there.
That's great fun to watch throughout the season as well. I mean, how have you found the season generally? Have you found it difficult to stay focused on the Prime Championship because you've been leading by so far for so long now?
Yeah, there was, leading by a good amount has its own set of complications. Complacency is pretty easy to achieve, so I was pretty complacent at Sebring, the finale of Season 3, and that just was kind of the kick in the butt I needed to maintain focus.
Well, congratulations on maintaining that focus and winning the Prime Championship. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd love to shout out to my parents. They tend to watch most mornings. William Bailey does a lot of practice with me, and it's definitely paid off. Bradley Lovings for the Coffee Cup and everybody at OGRL. And then lastly, you guys, love watching it back.
All right, thanks very much, Bradley, and we'll hopefully see you in the next season.
You definitely will. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Bradley Tidwell there, Pro-Am champion here today. Let's have a look at the race result. Hello? What?
Yes, the results are up. Sorry, I was going to say, like, we could be here for the afternoon talking in the interview room.
Yeah, well, we'll try and limit it to people on podiums and champions and stuff, because otherwise we're going to chat to all 30 drivers. At the end of the season. But it is the end of the season. I guess everyone's being a bit social. Alfie Nichols has taken the race win here in the final round of the season, and we'll chat to him in a moment. He finishes ahead of Ryan Merriam and Sean Riley, who rounds out the podium. David Van Roy was just missed out after that spin. Jeremy Cheney finished just over a minute behind, but he did hold off Alan Purser, with Brad Tidwell, the Pro-Am winner, in 7th. Bradley Lovings, the overall champion, finished 8th ahead of Damien Huberton and Jonathan Williams, rounding out the top 10. Pernod Hanno managed to stay close enough to Williams to hold on to his position in the championship. Carl Modric couldn't get ahead of Cheney to get ahead of him in the championship. Hayden Young was next ahead of Simon Belts and Brian Dukowski, rounding up the top 15. William Bailey was 16th ahead of Heath Hollinger, the AM winner, with a change on the last lap. Ziflo finished in 18th place ahead of Chris Lane and Jeff Sepulveda, rounding out the top 20. Then he was a lap down, by the way, because he didn't get to the end of the race. Marc Ossier also finished a lap down, with Carl Surratt just outside of the top 20, retiring with 1 lap to go, as well as Joey Mines, who got lapped during that race. Only finishing 9 laps was Jim Sawyer and Curtis Matthews. James Hillerick only the 8 laps, with Jim Cunningham only 6. Tyson Pankow, Quentin Price, Cody Bont couldn't get to the end of the opening lap. Mark Long retired from the race early on without completing a lap. In fact, he didn't start the race, indeed, in that race. Let's chat to the winner of the day then, Alfie Nichols, who has taken a 5th race win in a row. Congratulations, Alfie. I want to go back to the start of the race, though. On lap 1, he had that big spin in front of the leaders. He just narrowly avoided hitting the wall hard, and you were able to come back through to take the win. But tell us about the opening laps there as you went for that spin.
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good coming off qualifying. You know, I was like 2 seconds faster than everyone, and I was like, I'm still on quali fuel. I just pushed a little too hard, and I just went round. And I was really lucky not to smash into that wall. I think I got a little bit of damage from it, but nothing major from it. And then drove back up through the field.
How have you found these last 5 races? 5 in a row has not been done before this season. Has it felt comfortable for you, these victories?
I mean, there's been a couple close calls with some of the weather that we've had, and I definitely haven't been the fastest at every track, but I seem to have been the most consistent from everyone, and getting the poles really helped with that to keep moving and getting the wins each week.
Well, congratulations on those 5 wins. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, big shout out to my mum downstairs. So I'm sure I just heard her cheering from the broadcast.
Absolutely cheering another victory. Congratulations on that, Alfie, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Alfie Nichols there, winner here tonight at the Nurburgring, ahead of Ryan Merriam, who we can also chat to now. Congratulations, Ryan, on a 2nd place to end a successful season for yourself, and a successful 6th race, of course, because you won the first of these 6 races all the way back at Watkins Glen now. But 2nd place here today. Do you think there was anything else you could have done to get any nearer Alfie Nichols here today?
Hey, guys. Negative. No, he's just too quick, man. Through the week, I was looking at the times, and his best time was about an 8:14.5-ish or so, and so I was working hard to try to, that's about what I had, is maybe a 13 or something. And then the quali, of course, he goes and sets a 12, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're racing for P2 today. So, just try to keep it on the track. It's fun with Hayden for a few laps there, and happy with the 2nd, I guess.
How have you found the season overall? Because you have had stints in this season, in the whole 24 races, where you've had a really good 6 races put together. The 2nd sub-season towards the Christmas period towards the end of October, last year, you scored the most points of anybody but one, and only 1 point behind Bradley Lovings, who did score the most in those 6 races. You were just 1 point behind that. You've had some very good stints throughout this season, but you've ended up 3rd at the very end of it. How have you found the season overall?
Oh, I had a blast, man. This was one of the most fun things I've ever done when it comes to, video games. And, I'm happy with the result. I'll take 3rd. what really killed me in the race for the championship was I had a multiple seasons where I had to miss like 2 weeks in a row, work and traveling and stuff. So I use the drop week and then I just get a fat 0 for the next one or something like that. And then if basically the way the points work, if everybody that's ahead of me just hits every race, it's pretty hard to really catch up. So just did my best when I could be here, and real happy with third, and we'll try again next time.
Certainly will. Congratulations on second today. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys had a lot of fun this season with the broadcast. You two are absolutely excellent. Keep doing what you do. Big shout out to Bradley and the rest of OGRL for putting this on. Like I said, it was a real lot of fun. Looking forward to the next season, whatever it may be. I've been hearing maybe some multi-class action and whatnot, so that'll be interesting. And of course, Mom, she's been cheering me on every week in the chat. I'm sure chatting you guys' ear off. So it's been a lot of fun, and just thanks for everybody for putting it on.
Yeah, it certainly has. Congratulations, Ryan, on second today, and thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you very much. You guys take it easy.
Thanks very much. Ryan Merriam, second place here tonight, today, wherever you are in the world. Let's touch to Bradley Lovings now, who is also a pro driver, and then we'll get to the AMs a little bit later, where Heath Onger and Joey Mains to come a little bit later. But Bradley Lovings, now the overall champion, as you will have known for a little while now. Congratulations, Bradley. How are you feeling after that one?
Can you hear me? What's up, guys?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I would have where you were.
Hey, it's about time you don't play the sad trombone.
Would I do that to you, young man?
Yeah, you would. No, man. Josh must have had too much fun last night. I knew he wasn't going to make it, so I was just blasting Taylor Swift and just driving around today, man. I knew I had it in the bag regardless. So, hit the wall on lap 2, had a little wheel damage after that. I said, whatever, I'll just wait up and race with Bradley Tidwell. He's my best buddy. Shout out to Tiddy. Then I geared down a little much and lost it. So just Sunday drive for me.
Yeah, I was going to say that it certainly did look like that wheel alignment did have its effect over the course of the day. But you knew what you had to do to win the title, and you have been able to do that by just over 10 points at the end. But from a personal perspective, and maybe from a sort of organisational perspective, how has the season been for you over the 24 races?
Well, it works when you have the most amazing broadcasters in the business. So thank you guys for being with us for 8 months now. The season started back in June of 2024. So, having you guys helped us, keep guys racing and keep the families part of it, and kind of just a big, happy OGRL family over here.
Well, congratulations on putting on such a great league and indeed winning overall as well. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out specifically before we let you go?
Well, since I forgot to shout him out last week, Thruxton, I don't like that track, but William Bailey, Big Willie Mods, he got my setup dialed in. Once I was able to complete that race, I knew I had a championship in the bag. So being able to finish that was great. Richard Modric with Ron's Service, he sponsored the season. He's great. OGRL, you guys, Michael Champlin, he helps me admin the coffee cups. So other than that, man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone racing. I wish more people would have came out to see the Nurburgring today, but I think it scares some guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably true. Congratulations, Bradley, on the title, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Yeah, man, we plan on getting back up in April. JP, I'll get with you on that. And I'm liking the virtual track broadcast. It's a very great program you're putting on.
Yeah. Look forward to it. Bradley Lovings there, overall champion. And of course, league organiser here at the OGRL Coffee Cup, here chatting to us after the race at the Nurburgring. Now let's go to the AM class, where Heath Onger has taken the final race victory of the season. Congratulations, Heath, on that. Just tell us about your thoughts on that last lap there, as we saw Jeff Sebelveda pull to the side of the road, tow back to pit lane, and you were able to swoop through and take the victory.
Yeah, I had no idea what happened there. I was confused when I looked at the results at the end, when it jumped from P20 to P17, and put me in first. I was, disappointed. I wonder if he ran out of gas, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, Ray. I love the Nurburgring. Was there in person last June, and it's just kind of fun driving a track where you've been on before. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
He did indeed run out of fuel. You are correct on that one. Is there, or what do you rather make of the season overall? You finished second. Yet the margin between yourself and Joey, I think, is going to be around 40 points by the finish. How pleased are you with how it's gone?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Very pleased. It was a lot of fun racing with the guys and keeping track of the season points. I think I'm only this high because of consistency, racing every race, not having a lot of low drops. But for points in a season, that's kind of what it takes, is just being there every week.
Exactly. It counts for a lot. Well, congratulations on that. And before we let you go, is there anything or anyone rather you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Did you just say anything?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I meant anyone.
Yeah, chair or anything. I don't know.
My family loved them. They put up with me spending time on this rig, so a lot of fun, and I really appreciate them. And of course, Bradley and the guys that put this on. This has been a lot of fun. Great league. Can't wait for the next season. Thank you.
Absolutely, we can't wait either. Congratulations, Heath, on the win tonight, and thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. That's Heath Arnger there in the first place today, whatever, in the AM class. The final interview of the day will be Joey Moans, who has won the title in the AM class here today. Congratulations, Joey, on winning the title by about 40 points. How was your day at the Nurburgring?
A nightmare. There's one turn. I think I missed it every single lap. Took me about 6 laps to finally get it once, and then I missed it another 2 times. It was bad. It was bad.
I mean, very difficult to very difficult track though. And how did you feel about that going into the final round, knowing that you had the championship lead? Of course, you had a pretty big lead, but you did have to do the race. Otherwise, you would have been in trouble championship wise, potentially losing it. But how did you feel about that being the final round at the end of a long season?
Well, so seeing when this was the last race, I was hoping. I don't remember if I had the lead coming into the season. If I did, it wasn't by much, but I just told myself I just got to build up a point gap, and then once I get the point gap, hopefully it's big enough to where I don't have to sweat this race, which he kind of looked like he was putting on the pressure. I didn't, without the drop races included on like the last 2 weeks, I couldn't tell if Heath was going to be in second or JT was, because JT missed a whole race, and Heath has been here the entire time. So I didn't know how close it was going to really be, but just did kind of like the math after last week, and it looked like I was pretty much fine as long as I just, stayed on the track, basically, and not completely kill my car immediately. So, that point gap just building throughout the season helped tremendously.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Congratulations on the title. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear, but I have kids screaming. So, my family, for letting me do this every morning. Pretty chaotic over here. So in the morning, so I want to thank them. Thank you boys for the broadcast every week, every Sunday. Appreciate you and everyone who puts on this league at OGRL. Appreciate everyone here. And hey, I'll take an AM championship for my first time doing these kind of races. Slowly learned. I just need to put more practice to get better. So, yeah, it's been a good run, and hopefully to do it again next year, but probably in a different class. So, probably not.
You're being pro-ams, mate.
Well,
don't you get excited, son. You're going to be
I know, that's what I was just saying. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
You need to get some practice in, mate, if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, based on my points, it'd be top 10 in them. So I think that's a plus for me, I guess. But other than that, I mean, there ain't no way I'm beating those boys in
Positive
pro am.
thinking, Joey. Positive thinking. Stop it. You've got
I know.
this.
I just gotta practice. Practice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we look forward to seeing you next season, Joe. Congrats on the title, and as I say, we'll see you in the next season.
Yes, appreciate you guys.
Thanks very
Take
much.
care.
Yep,
John was the winner of the I've just interrupted him. title here today in the OGRL Coffee Cup. Well, it's the end of the season, 90 minutes round here at the Nurburgring combined circuit. Bradley Lovings is our overall champion, and we did have our championships almost shored up towards the end. But, after 24 rounds, for it to still even be that close, pretty remarkable.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Fact of we've been going for so long. As I said, since, what was it, July last year? And we've done it. We've come to the end, and Lovins, Tidwell, and Means. Great job. Great job from all of them.
Yeah, it's been great to be here throughout the season in the OGRL Coffee Cup. Big thanks to everyone who's been tuned in over the course of it as well. I've been Neil Leary alongside James Parfitt. As Bradley says, we'll be back fairly shortly for another instalment and season 3 of the OGRL Coffee Cup. But until then, it's goodbye for now.